Hello everyone, welcome to the course information session 2022-23. And this session is held because is being holded because you guys are soon going to end in your going to enter your sophomore year, and the nuances of the sophomore year are very different from the freshie year, and you get subjected to a lot more new things. So to acquaint you to that, we are holding this course information session this year. So I'll begin by my introduction. So we are the Student Support Services. We come under the Undergraduate Academic Council, and our basic role is to provide any kind of support that you people need and make your academic lives easier here at IIT Bombay. I'm Prapti Sahu. Currently a third year undergraduate student in the Department of Civil Engineering, and I'm the Institute Secretary Academic Affairs and Head of Student Support Services for the academic year 2022-23. This is my team for the year for this tenure. So my coordinators are Akshat Singh, Ashwin Abraham, Shravya Suresh, and Tushar Jamthani. So we'll begin. The aims of this session is to acquaint you about minors and honors, what exactly these terms means, what are the rules related to minors and honors, and what exactly is the requirement to complete any of these, and much more information relating to these. We'll also be covering electives. What are electives? What are its different kinds of what are different kinds, and when can you take electives? We'll be covering about additional learning courses, about academic standing, tagging, and finally minor reviews. So let me begin with minors and honors. So here at IIT Bombay, you are offered a lot of flexibility in your curriculum, especially in the form of minors and honors, which you can take, and you can, add value to your degree. So, what are minors? I'm sure all of you must have heard about minors, what about from here and there about minors, but you might not be exactly aware of what minors are. So, minors are an extra learning component, and what minor is that you can take a minor in a department which is different from your own parent department. For example, if I am in the civil engineering department, then I can take a minor in a department which is different from mine. So we can take a depart we can so I can take a department I can take a minor in the electrical engineering department, for example. So I can do a minor in a department which is different from my parent department. So the final outcome of the minor degree is that when I get my degree certificate, if I complete my minor degree, I'll say that I have got a BTech in civil engineering with a minor in some other some other discipline which I have completed the minor in. For completing the minor course, you need to get 30 credits worth of courses. Now, in your first year, you might be aware of the credit system that prevails in IIT Bombay. So basically, credits are the value given to the courses. For example, there are 6 credit courses, 4 credit courses. So most of the courses are 6 credit courses. So generally, to complete a minor degree, you will have to complete 5 courses of 6 credits each. Now, the final outcome, if you complete 5 courses of 6 credits each, the final outcome will be that suppose I complete a minor in electrical engineering, then on my degree it will be written BTech in civil engineering with minor in electrical engineering. And so how do you know which courses are available? So when the registration for minors starts, which I'll be talking about very soon. So when the registration for minors starts, you will be going to ASC, and under the ASC, the subsection academic subsection, and under the all about courses section, when you'll click on running courses, then you can see which all courses are being run in the particular semester for a minor. And the minor courses keep changing every semester. So there's a different set of minor courses that are offered every semester. So keep in mind that departments do not change, but the minor courses under the departments keep changing. So you can accordingly plan out which courses to take and then plan out your minor degree. Now, the resume and department websites are to your rescue to know about the courses. You can also visit the department websites and check out about their minor program and the courses which they run in the minor program. And on Resume, you will find all the details of the workload, the course load, and reviews for various minor courses that are run in the institute. Now, how to register for such courses? So, you guys must have come across this term called pre-registration, but you might not be exactly aware of the meaning of pre-registration. So, in your first 2 semesters, what you had been doing in the name of registration was just registration. And before registration, there's something which is called the pre-registration, which takes place. In pre-registration, what we do is that the portal opens up on the external ASC, and it generally happens 1 week before your normal registration. In pre-registration, you'll have to give a preference order of the minor. You will be the courses which are being run, the minor courses which are being run in the semester are displayed, and you have to give a preference order and select the minor courses which you want. I'll be talking more about this later. So please keep in mind that minor courses can only be registered through pre-registration. So if you want to take up a minor course in a particular semester, make sure that you are sitting in the pre-registration and registering for it in the pre-registration. Now, another obvious question that comes to your mind is that how will the institute allot you a minor course? So the allotment is done on the basis of your CPI. Another question that might come to your mind is whether this minor courses will be counting in my CPI or not. So the minor courses will not be counting towards your CPI, and all the minors that you will do will be counting towards a minor CPI. So the minor CPI won't be displayed on your ASC until you complete the minor. Once you complete the minor, once you complete 30 credits worth of courses in the minor, the institute will give you your minor CPI along with your minor degree. Another, so the CPI allotment, which is used for allotment of minor courses, is your normal CPI, which you get after doing your core courses. So the minor CPI, you can keep calculating it while doing the courses, but the final minor CPI will be displayed to you and will be of any use to you only after you have completed your minor degree. Now I'll be moving on to honors. So one key difference between honors and minors that I would like to highlight is that minors you have to do it in a department other than your parent department, but honors you'll have to do it in a department, do it in your own parent department. So what are honors? So honors is this extra specialization that you gain in your own parent department, and you get an edge over other students in the learning that you have gained in your own parent department. So as mentioned that for a minor you need 30 credits worth of courses, but for honors you need only 24 credit worth of courses. So generally 4 courses will be suffice to give you an honor degree. What will be the final outcome? So if I am in the civil engineering department and if I do an honors, then on my degree certificate it will be written as BTech in civil with honors. Who can do it? Anybody in the department can take up honors of their own department. Some departments do not offer honors, so you can confirm with the department if a department gives the option of offering an honors degree or not. When to take up honors? Honor courses, so the each department maintains a list of courses which can be taken up as honors, and the procedure to take up honors, which varies department by department. And honors courses generally can be taken up once you finish your second year, that is when you enter your third year. However, some departments do offer the right to do honors courses even in your second year. So I would recommend you confirm with this with your department, and then you can plan up your honors degree say accordingly if you plan to do an honors. How to register for honors? So honors courses are registered the same way, in the same way as you register for the normal core courses, unlike minors. So the honors are registered in the using the normal registration period, and just that you'll have to put the tag as the honors tag to if you want to register them as an honors course. You can also retag some courses as honors courses. I'll be talking about retagging later, so I'll touch upon that so you'll have more clarity on that later. So, guys, I had talked about minors and honors, and let me talk about electives now. So, minors and honors are an extra learning component that you take up here at IIT Bombay. But electives are something that is a part of your degree here at IIT Bombay, and it's necessarily required for you to take up electives. Now, So for the institute electives, so there are three types of electives: the institute electives, department electives, and humanities electives. So institute electives, so let me explain you what each of these are. So to complete your degree here at IIT Bombay, you need to complete a fixed set of courses. The institute, some fixed number of institute electives and a fixed number of department electives. The number varies from one department to the other, so I would recommend you to check out your department websites and confirm how many institute and department electives you need to do. Now, the institute electives are not in your parent department and they count in your major CPI. And the number and time of the institute electives that you have to do is mentioned in the curriculum of your department websites. The department websites mention specific semesters in which you have to do the institute electives, but it is not necessary for you to do them in the same semester itself. If allowed, you can do institute electives in other semesters also. Department electives, department electives are from your own parent department and they count in your major CPI like institute electives. The number of courses depend on your department and vary from department to department. And the list of department electives is maintained by your departments and your DG secs. So to check out which courses you can take up as department electives, you can check out your department websites and contact your DG secs to give you a list for the same. Humanities electives. So there are generally a set of 4 to 5 courses that the humanities department offers, and you have to compulsorily take them as an elective. So these courses count in your major CPI, and there is a specific semester in which you have to take it. Generally, it is a 3.1 semester. That is the fifth semester, the first semester of your third year. But some departments also offer it in the third semester. It's like the chemical department. For the humanities electives, you have to again go through the pre-registration process, and similar to the minors, because they are allotted to you on the basis of your CPI. So, being allotted in humanities electives, you'll have to put through a preference order in the pre-registration portal itself, and then you'll be allotted it on the basis of CPI. Okay, so being clear about electives, let me tell you about additional learning courses. So, additional learning courses are popularly called ALCs. So, you might have heard a lot about ALCs in your first to first semesters. So, you can take as many courses as you like as ALCs, and so you'll have to adhere to the credit limit depending upon your category. I would be revisiting the concept of category and academic standing again in the future slides. In additional learning courses, normal grades are awarded to you, and however the grades are awarded, but they are not included on your CPI. So if you tag a course as a additional learning course, normal grades will be awarded to you, and you have to go through the normal examination and attendance procedure, but the grades would not be included in your CPI. However, you can retag the course later to a department elective, institute elective, and an honors course. I would be explaining what retagging is. It also shows up on your transcript. So transcript is basically a list of courses that you have done during your stay at the institute in 8 or 10 semesters. So the additional learning courses show up in your transcript. What are audit courses? So, audit courses are courses which you can take up without, without worrying upon getting a letter grade for the same. So, what are letter grades? You know, right? So A grade carries 10 grade points, and the AB grades carries 9 grade points. So, without worrying about getting a letter grade, you can take up an audit course in the institute. So, in the audit course, you can take maximum of 2 courses, and the grade awarded to you would be AU. So if you satisfactorily complete the course, so you can confirm with the course instructor that whether you can take the course as an audit course, and the instructor will set some attendance and maybe evaluation criteria for you, and if you successfully surpass the criteria, then you will be awarded an AU grade. The audit courses are not included in your CPI, and they are not retaggable. So you cannot, unlike ALCs, you cannot retag them to any other type of courses like electives or the honor courses. The audit courses show up in the transcript. And for both audit courses and additional learning courses, you will have to go through the normal registration procedure, and you will have to adhere to your category limit. What are sit-throughs? So you might be wondering how to do a course without registering for it and without worrying about the category limit. So what is a sit-through? So sit-through is a course which depends on the instructor discretion, and you can take a course as many courses as you like for sit-through, because you are not awarded any grade for it, and neither it is included in your CPI. There also is no evaluative criteria to it. Just the instructor allows you to sit through the lectures and gain the knowledge that is passed on in the subject. So as it's an informal interaction, so you don't have to register for it, and it also does not show up on the transcript. So the sit through courses, which should be done only after after the consent of the instructor, and then you can take as many sit through courses as you like to gain knowledge. So, guys, I hope you were clear about the minors and honors, which are an extra learning component, the department electives, institute electives, and the humanities electives, which are the electives that you have to compulsorily take to complete your degree here at IIT Bombay, and then the various kind of courses which do not count in your CPI, but you can do them, like the audit course, the ALCs, the additional learning courses, or the sit-through courses. Now I'll be talking about registration and pre-registration. So we'll be talking about pre-registration now. So pre-registration is the way for you to register for minors and humanities electives, as I had mentioned earlier. Now, this is a video that is recorded by Priyanka Bagade, who was the Institute Secretary, Academic Affairs and Head of Student Support Services in the year 2020-2021.
So the first thing that needs to be done is that you need to log in into your external ASC account using your LDAP credentials. You need to go to forms and requests. Over there, you can see these three sections that are present. And in order to pre-register for a minor course, you need to click on this link. Once you click on this link, you can see that there is a list of courses that are available with the course code, the theory, the credits, the time slot, along with the professor who might be taking it. As you can see that there are almost 46 courses that are present in this particular window, and you need to pre-register for all these courses based on a particular preference order. Now, just as you can see, there are a few courses which are not available because the course prerequisite has not been completed. In such cases, it's not going to be available for you to take.
So the minor courses also have a specific criteria to be taken. Some of the minor courses have a prerequisite, unlike and some of them do not. So for the courses that have prerequisites, make sure that you have done the prerequisites so you can check them out on the department websites for the minor that you want to take. Now, when you open the pre-registration portal on the external ASC, then you will get three options. Firstly is the minor registration option, and the secondly is the humanities electives option. So when you click on the minor registration option, you will get a list of the minor courses that are being offered like this in a particular semester. Now you can click on you can put a preference order for the same. So you can put if suppose I want my first preference is marketing management course, then I can put a number 1 against it, and then my second preference is a classical mechanics course, so I can put a number 2 against it. So while allocating me the courses on the basis of my CPI, the firstly I'll be considered for marketing management, and secondly I'll be considered for the classical mechanics course. And if I satisfy the CPI criteria for both, then my first preference, that is the marketing management course, will be allotted to me. Once you can change the option, you can change the pre-registration when you can change the your choices in the pre-registration window as many times as you want when the pre-registration window is open, but once it closes you cannot change it. Now I'll be talking about the running courses and slots. So you might have heard about the slots in which in which various courses run. So slots are basically a particular timetable that courses follow, and that in that timetable the lectures are held for the slots. So for example, the HS 101 course, it runs in slot 4. So what it means is that basically on Monday the lectures will be held from 11:30 to 12:30. On Thursday it will be held in the morning, and on Thursday it will be held from 9:30 to 10:25, and on Tuesday it will be held from 8:30 to 9:25. So you can take so the basically the HS 101 will follow this timetable as it is in slot 4. Now why these slots are assigned is because the for a particular course, these for particular two courses which run in the same slot, the examination and the lectures will be holding place at the same time. So you cannot take two courses which are in the same slot, because it's not physically possible for you to give the examination for both the two courses at the same time. So we have to make sure do this during pre-registration and registration as well, that none of the two courses you are taking have the same slot. If they have the same slot, then the ASC will not allow you to register for it, and there will be a glitch that will be appearing. So make sure that you don't have any slot clashes. The minor courses generally run in slot 5 or slot 6. So some of the departments have core courses running in them. So just make sure that you don't have any of the minor courses clashing up with your department courses during pre-registration. Also, you might be seeing an example of division. So here, the HS 101, unlike your, so what a division S1, S2 is that in the institute, the students are divided into various divisions on the basis of strengths. So if you are a part of S1, then you'll have to register for the same course in the particular S1 division. If you're a part of S2, you'll have to register from the S2 division. The course instructors will be informing you about the division in which you are there. Also, you can view any restrictions that are put on the registration of the course, and the hyperlink is available on ASC. So when you click on the hyperlink, you will know about any number of student registration restrictions that are put, and also any kind of prerequisites that are required. Okay, so I'll talk about slot pattern. So what slot pattern is exactly that these days and time are divided into various slots. For example, if a course runs in slot 1, then it will basically run on Monday from 8:30 to 9:25, on Tuesday from 9:30 to 10:25, and on Thursday from 10:35 to 11:30. So basically, this is the timetable that a slot 1 course will follow. Similarly, you can see for other slots as well. While you stay here at IIT Bombay, you will get acquainted to the kind of slots that run and the timings in which they run, and you will get acquainted to the slot pattern as well. Meanwhile, we'll be sharing the slides with you also. You can refer to this timetable and plan out your time accordingly. Now I'll be talking about registration, course adjustment, and dropping of courses. So registration is that at the beginning of each semester you will have to register for each and every course that you plan to take in that semester. This is according with your discipline's curriculum. So if you are from a particular department, unlike your first year, your courses will get department specific. So each of you will be having very different courses depending upon your department. So in accordance with your department's curriculum and your faculty's advice, you can take courses and register for them. The curriculum can be found under the All About Courses subsection under the academic section of ASC. Also, the registration form there's a specific deadline for filling up the registration form, and you'll have to fill it. And the registration from third sem onwards depends on your academic standing. I'll be touching upon academic standing a little later. I'll now talk about course adjustment. So course adjustment is that after 1 week when 1 week when you are into the semester, you have the right to add or delete any courses that you want in your semester. So if suppose I register for some course XYZ during the registration period, and then later I realize that I don't possess the necessary interest for it, or maybe I want to take some other course, say ABC, then what I can do is about 1 week after the semester starts, in that 1 week I can delete XYZ course from my registration and add the ABC course. And such a registration does not does not showcase anywhere on your transcript such an adjustment. And you can also consult your it's advisable to consult your faculty advisor for any permission that you want to take. And the credit rule holds over here too. I'll talk about the academic standing a little later. And please note that minimum credits that you will need to complete are 18 for completing a semester here at IIT Bombay. If you do not complete 18 credits, then your semester will not be considered. Dropping of courses. So the course adjustment deadline is only for a week, as mentioned. So if you feel that your academic load is too heavy and you cannot cope up with the course, then IIT Bombay provides you with the option to drop that course. The course will be dropped and you don't need to do that course anymore, but then it will appear on your transcript as a dropped course. And if at all it is a core course and it is necessary for your degree, then you'll have to do it in some later semester. So the dropping of course, the last date is the somewhere around the 20-30 days after the midsem, and it results in the W grade. Now, I had been referring a lot about academic standing here and there. I'll be talking about what academic standing really is. So, on the basis of your CPI and the grades that you have in your courses, you are allotted an academic standing at the end of your second semester. In the if you have a CPI greater than or equal to 8, and you have no outstanding FR, DX, DR, or W grade in any of the courses, then you can take up to 54 credits in a semester. So you can take courses worth up to 54 credits, but then the minimum is 18 and the maximum is 54 credits. However, if your CPI is less than 8 and you do not have any FR, DX, DR, or W grades, any of these four backlogs, these four grades are considered as backlogs. So if you don't have any backlog and you have a CPI less than 8, then you will be considered in category 2 and you'll have to do up to 48 credits. And if you have received at least one of these backlogs, then you will be put in category 3. So you can just go through these slides and you can reconfirm which category you will fall in, and how many credits you can take, and accordingly decide upon your course load. Right. So, if you check on your department websites, the department websites state down the curriculum for each of the year, each of the semester, and the courses for each of the semester. So I have taken a screenshot of the department website of Civil Department, and this is the screenshot for the semester. This is the screenshot of the shot of the curriculum of the seventh semester. So the department has specified 3 core courses which need to be done in the seventh semester, and the department has specified that you can do 2 department electives and 1 institute elective in the seventh semester. But it is not necessary for you to do that in the seventh semester itself. You can do it beginning from the third semester. The department and institute electives, just confirm with your department once. So each department lays down a fixed set of courses that need to be done in the semester, and suppose generally the credit limit varies from 36 to 44 for each department. And then the surplus credits which remain with you, depending upon your category, you can take up minor courses, honor courses, ALCs, electives, or audit courses. Now, tagging. So we have been referring a lot on what tagging is, and there's a very prevalent rumor in the institute that क्या tagging से CPI बढ़ती है. So we'll be talking upon what tagging is. So first of all, it is very important that there shouldn't be any blind interchange between tags to increase CPI. So you might be aware that there are various tags for various courses. For core courses, the tag is C. For honors courses, the tag is O. For minor courses, the tag is M. For institute elective, it's I. For ALCs, it is T. So the various tags are available for various kinds of courses. And the institute gives you the opportunity to change these tags, because all these courses have different effects on your CPI. But you should make sure that you don't blindly interchange the tags to just increase your CPI. The tags should be changed in a very calculated manner. Very importantly, once the tag for a course has been changed, it can't be changed again, because the window opens only twice. And firstly, it opens at the beginning of your placement semester. So you guys will be, if you are a BTech student, you will be sitting for placements in the seventh semester. So the tagging window will be opening at the beginning of your seventh semester, and it will open at the time of your graduation, that is at the end of your eighth semester. So for example, once you retag a course from a ALC course to an institute elective course at the beginning of the first retagging period, and then later you do another course in the seventh or eighth semester, and you get a better grade in it, then you might want to change that course to an institute elective, and retag the previous course to an ALC. But that is not possible, because once you have retagged the course, you cannot retag it again, and the option is provided to you only once. So please be very sure while retagging any of the courses, and please make sure that you are doing any calculated research on your CPI and your on what effect it be having on your transcript. So these are the tags. So the T is for additional learning, C is for core course, D is for department electives, O is for honors course, H is for humanities electives, I is for institute electives, and M is for minors course. So while you will be registering on the ASC, you will be seeing these tags beside the courses you are registering for. You can choose the tag accordingly for your course, and then you can later retag it once the retagging window opens. So for example, you can this table describes which tag can be changed into the other tag. You can go through this table. For example, I'll cover this. So the additional learning courses can be retagged into department elective, institute elective, honors courses, and honors elective courses. Also, the honors elective rules have changed a little bit recently, so I would advise you to go through any of the releases through your by your department to and confirm once the rules for these. Now we'll be moving on to branch change rules. So very soon the branch change portal will be opening up for you guys. And you will have to fill in your preferences if you want to go for a branch change. First of all, the rule is that you shouldn't have any backlog, any kind of backlog. So FR, DX, DR, and W fall in the backlog criteria. So you shouldn't have any kind of backlog at the end of your first year. And the second rule is that you will have to fall in one of the two sets. So the first set is that your CPI is at least 9 and there is a seat available in the branch you want to change into. So you will be granted a branch change. The set 2 is that your CPI is not at least 9. There's a seat available in branch 2. But there's a rule that once you change into branch 2, the strength of your branch should not fall below fall more than 25%. And no student with a higher CPI should be denied branch change if you are being granted a branch change. So for example, if you are being granted a branch change, however, a student with a higher CPI in another branch is not being granted branch change because of the 25% rule, then even you won't be allowed to change your branch. Alright guys, so moving ahead, so we have all of this information that I have covered in this session up till now is covered in the course information booklet that we'll be releasing very soon, today itself. So the course, you can scan the following QR code for visiting the course information booklet. The course information booklet has all the static information on the various types of courses, the various type of tagging rules, the branch change rules, and the minor cutoffs. Also, this year, the course information booklets also contains the reviews on various type of courses, the minor courses, the honors courses, and the unconventional courses and the HSS electives. This year, all of these reviews have been shifted to Resubin. So when you go to Resubin, you will be finding a separate tabs for minors and honors courses, and 15 plus departments have been covered for which you can find a review. These reviews have been collected from very experienced seniors. You can go through these reviews and decide on which department you want to take a minor or honor in. And you can also go through some unconventional courses that have been covered, like music that is offered at IIT Bombay, archaeology, management, which are unconventional, and you can think about taking them. Also, HSS electives, the 4 HSS electives, psychology, sociology, reading, literature, and philosophy, all reviews for all 4 of them have been covered on Resubin. So I would suggest you to go through Resubin and read through the reviews and decide your courses accordingly. So we'll be moving on to the minor reviews part now. So we'll be having seniors coming in and sharing about the minors that they have taken.
Yeah, I will do that shortly.
Okay.
Can someone confirm if my screen is visible?
Yes, it's visible.
So can I, or is there anything else? So hello everyone. Thanks for joining in such huge numbers. So my name is Shashank Inamdar, as already said, and I'm pursuing electrical minor. As of now, I have completed 4 courses in electrical minor, and I am an X30 to be a 40 now, and my department is mechanical. So if we start with the motivation for choosing the minor, in my case, it was like legit pure interest regarding the electrical field, and also the fact that I couldn't secure electrical department here at IIT. So yeah, and like since I was talking about the pure interest part, it my interest pure in power electronics, and since the electrical minor had one of the courses which offered power electronics, so that was like a legit no-brainer for me to pursue the electrical minor. So, and again, it's one of those fields that you cannot pursue if you are, just doing it for namesake. Okay, so you actually need like legit interest for doing electrical, because the courses can get hectic at some point of time. You might lose your motivation. You know, you might get bored, and then eventually you'll end up like regretting, why did I choose electrical minor? Maybe I could have done something else. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if your friends are forcing you to take an electrical minor, or you're just taking it for namesake, that at least I'll get an electrical minor under my name. So those are not the real motivations to do, because this is not something which you will finish in like a semester or two. It takes like 5 long semesters. So maintaining a motivation for 5 semester long is one of the huge tasks. Completing the courses and securing a good grade point is another. So as of now, I'm going strong. So yeah, I have done like 4 minor courses. I have one more to do so that I can get a minor tag. So yeah. And however, like if talking about interest, if I'm talking about the my minor in particular, so we have a couple of courses. Like I have listed all the course codes here. So there are 6 courses, and as you guys must be knowing that we have like 5 courses, minimum of 5 courses requirement to secure a minor degree. So even if you complete 4 courses and you leave out one, you won't be getting a minor degree, and somehow you have to change the tag to something else. Else the courses will just go waste. Okay. So there are a couple of courses, namely E204 is basically analog circuits, 207 is electronics and electrical circuits, 221 is digital electronics, 229 is signal processing, 321 is my favorite, power electronics, and 325 is something which I might hate. It's like probability and random processes. So as of now, I have completed I'm going to finish the first 5. I'm not going to do the E325 one. And so I have just listed it according to the preferences, like the way I would suggest if you're doing an electrical course, you should follow this procedure for taking the courses, so that it might not be hectic for you in the initial phases, such that you lose motivation towards them. So these are the courses I have listed right now. So if you ask my perspective, so I would say that start off with digital electronics. It's like one of the easiest courses. All you have to do is deal with numbers 0 and 1, and that's it. You can secure it and right away. So that's really not an issue. Talking about E207, it requires some of the first year physics and stuff. So if you are good in physics, then this course will be a cakewalk for you right away. 204 is like one of the courses which I found interesting. Again, it depends on the professor. Okay. So we had a really good professor. We had Professor Shalabh Gupta. Like his way of teaching, etc., like were actually fun. So I'm not saying the courses as well as the professor plus the motivation from your end counts. Okay. we need to have all the three factors inculcated. Otherwise, it won't be a cakewalk for you, no matter like how great, like how high IQ, how intelligent you are. Okay, so like it's a collective effort. And talking about electrical minor, since we are restricted to only these six courses, you don't have a flexibility, to take an external course and then retag it as a minor course. Okay. So like some of the other minors actually have this system that you can choose from the electives and later retag them as minor courses, but this thing is not available in case of electrical. So just look at the courses, and I have actually, done a review for the courses in the course info booklet also, as these guys said they will be releasing it soon. So have a look at it. And I just noticed one of the questions, it was regarding the CPI criteria. So talking about the CPI, elect courses do not have that much of a CPI criteria required. Like if your CPI is above 7, then you will get all of the courses, to be really honest. Like elect courses are something that uh, like the people have this mindset, right, that electrical courses are tough, like they might be boring, they might be hectic, they are too intensive is the word I was looking for. So it's not that. uh, yeah, I know electrical is one of those fields which people do find like really gruesome and stuff, but uh, if you like put in efforts, like efforts is something that everyone says, but it's difficult to do that on a daily basis. But like a couple of efforts, like obviously I will say ki do not put in so much efforts as you put in core courses, but even a little bit of efforts, like do not mug up the things a day before you have the exams, right? So other than that, if you like maintain, like even if you study like twice or thrice a week for the minor, you will end up securing a good grade point, I assure you that. And uh, I'll tell you that power electronics was one of the most difficult courses I had to do. But again, since we had this interest in us that I want to actually to do, so yeah, I was able to do it. So I won't say much about electrical minor as such. Again, like if I'm talking about the courses, these are the kinds of topics you'll be covering over the entire minor course. So if you find something relatable, if you have done something like earlier, then again it won't be much difficult for you to cover. Like if I'm talking about like Fourier transform, Z transform, etc., you guys must be already sort of getting involved with it. So yeah, those things might actually help you. And again, I listed like couple of topics which I think are of most importance. Uh, Again, the things can go a bit boring. I'm not saying that electrical courses are interesting all the time, but yeah, I mean, if you sort of dive yourself into it, then it won't be a cakewalk, but it will be better for you. Like at least I would prefer do not mug up the courses a day before the exam, because electrical courses are quite stressful. Like you will end up forgetting the little bit knowledge you have about that course. So don't do that. That's a risky affair, honestly speaking. But other than that, I would say that if you uh, have like so I am a proper core enthusiast. Okay, I'm not saying that being a core enthusiast, electrical will actually help you everywhere, because right now I just almost finished my intern here at Bajaj Auto, so I'm like a proper core person. But here, having an electrical background didn't help me out. But again, you never know, like what kind of opportunity might come knocking at your door. So it's better when you have the opportunity, just grasp it. I'm not saying that all the other courses will tend you towards the non-core subdivision, but it's always like electrical has some kind of superiority over the other courses. Okay. And having a minor, since I'm talking about this minor, the six courses which I listed are of entirely different domains. So it's nothing that the things might overlap with each other, and you will get a basic overview of what an entire electrical department is all about. Okay. So, and anyways, if you think that if you're doing the courses, and suppose if you find like power electronics to be quite an interesting field, okay, if you find power electronics to be an interesting field, then you can pursue it further. Okay, you never know unless and until you give it a try, right? So once you do that, then you will be able to go ahead with it. Maybe you can find something which you actually want. Maybe you can explore it more, and you will eventually end up in a good place. And talking about like some of the extra things, since this minor has its dedicated slot and you somehow have to finish like 5 courses to get a minor, so I would say that you won't be able to pursue any other minor in this case, because electrical is one of the one of the tough minors, to be honest. So people generally, first of all, the people generally do not take elect minor because some of them are already scared of the name, and even if some people take it, then they eventually end up dropping in between. So if you really have the motivation, then take it up. But again, you won't have that opportunity to do 2 minors. Okay, so that's one of the issues. And as I said, that a little bit of electrical background can always help if you are a core enthusiast. You might never know in what way it will help, but yeah, it will be still better than not able to do. And courses can be interesting. Again, it depends on the prof, how he conveys the entire syllabus to you. And like if we talk about the electrical professors as a whole, they're quite knowledgeable in this sense. Okay, if you really have issues, they do not sort of excuse you since you're just a minor student and not your core student. Okay, so if you have queries, you can ask them straight away. In fact, they sort of ask you directly, straightforward. If you have some kind of queries directly, you can even text them. You can, like, the professors are quite chill in case of minor. Are good, and if you really have all the enthusiasm in you, then you can take up electrical minor for sure. You'll eventually end up at a good place. You won't regret it, because honestly, I haven't regretted it yet. So yeah, and again, it's up to you what kind of minor courses you have to choose. I'm not going to sort of distract you right in the beginning of the session and motivate all of you to take elect minor. There are other reviews for minors coming up, so yeah, you can proceed ahead with it. All I can say is best of luck for choosing your minors, and you know just finish your minor. Okay, if you are having that motivation to choose a minor, then have the motivation to finish the minor too. Do not end up dropping it real soon. That's it I would like to convey. If you have any other doubts, then you can personally text me. You can ask for my number from Ashwin and stuff. So they'll give you my number, and then again we have the course info booklet. I have sort of listed a proper review about all the courses so that you can have a look on it, and then if you have any extra queries, you can approach me. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Shashank, for that great elaboration and the very important advice at the end, especially about finishing your minor. Yes, that's something which we all need to take forward with us. So thank you again, Shashank. Now, our next speaker is Shantanu Shukla, who will be talking about the SysCon minor. Shantanu, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Am I audible?
All right. Yes, you are audible. Just one suggestion. In case you feel like your net connection might be a little off, you're welcome to keep your video off. That's not an issue.
Okay, so right now I have turned it on, but in case
Right
there's
now
a
it's visible.
problem,
Cool.
I will definitely switch it off.
Okay.
Should I begin with my presentation?
Yes, you can. You can share your screen.
Sure, great. Okay, is this visible?
Yep, it's visible.
Great. Yep. So, hi guys, I'm Shantanu. I am a 4th-year undergraduate from the Department of Mechanical Engineering, and currently I'll be moving into my last year, which is my 4th year. And I'm also pursuing a minor in Systems and Control Engineering, which is popularly known as SysCon. So let's get started with the presentation. So what is SysCon? SysCon, as it stands for Systems and Controls, has 2 parts, systems and controls. So systems, what is a system? It takes anything that takes in some kind of an input and gives some kind of an output is a system. And when we are studying systems, we are interested in studying the behavior of the systems or the type of systems or some ways to model the systems, generally mathematical models of the systems. For example, we have a car. So when you push the throttle pedal in a car, you get some output acceleration. So the throttle that you're pushing, that's the input, and the acceleration that you're getting is the output. So we are in this area, we want to study what is the connection between the input and the output. So how much of the throttle input gives how much of an acceleration as the output. The relation between the input and the output in general is what we are concerned with studying. And again, there are different types of systems based on the different relationships between inputs and outputs. Next, what are controls? So if I have a system which if I give some input, it gives me an output, then can this system give me a desired output? If it can, how accurate or close is it to what I really want? Can I really control or change this output or control the nature of this output? Can I control the way my system behaves if I give a different input, say for example? So that is what we essentially try and study in controls. And if you look at systems and controls, this is something that we have in our everyday lives, everywhere around us. We've got so many systems and we've got so many controls around. Everywhere we use different devices, we use different systems, we have different mechanical systems, we have electrical systems, so many systems. So essentially, this is what we're going to do in Syscon Minor. Of course, we'll be discussing more about this. Let's go ahead. So where is Syscon around us? Absolutely everywhere. In automobiles, in aerospace, in electronics, robotics, manufacturing, and many, many more fields. We've got systems and controls. Each field has different systems, more than a system. Even a single car, it has hundreds of systems, and you want all those systems to be working together. So in department minors, like, I don't know, maybe electrical minors or mechanical minors, you study about theories which govern these systems. But how do you exactly put the big picture in place? How do you manage a mechanical system and an electrical system and a thermal system all together at the same time? So this big picture kind of a thing is what we really wish to study in systems and control. Basically, the point is that this minor is suitable for all branches. It encompasses aspects from multiple fields, and it has widespread applications, real life applications, and it is more about the application part rather than the theory part. So this is what the Syscon minor is about. And let's move ahead. What was my motivation for this minor? So I like maths and physics a lot during my JE days, which is where y'all are coming from, I believe. 1 year later, of course. But yeah. So the courses, by the way, yes, they are math heavy courses, especially the courses in the beginning. And they include a lot of mathematics, mathematical modeling of physical systems. Say, for example, you've got a rocket and it has some fuel, and you want to know how much of the fuel has been consumed over certain distance that the rocket has covered from say one planet to the other. And it's not that you're going to be able to measure it real time. So you need a mathematical model which can really estimate how is your rocket consuming fuel or the rate at which it is consuming. And then you can have an estimate of that. And all these things, all these measurements, they have to be done real time. They have to be as accurate as possible. For example, you've got an aeroplane, for example, and while you're flying in an aeroplane, you've got a thermal system which is controlling the temperature inside your plane. While the system is controlling the temperature, at the same time, there is another system which is controlling the speed of your aeroplane, of the engine of your aeroplane. There is another system which is taking in radar inputs and helping you navigate. So these systems, as I said, they've got to work together. It's not that you can individually monitor each system and you've got people trying or controlling every system. So all these systems, they're based on different fields. Some come from mechanical, some from computer science, electronics. But to have them working in synchrony is what your final engineering product is going to need. And that is essentially what this minor is going to give you expertise about. So that was one of the motivation, my liking for maths and physics. The next one, as I've written, a wide scope of the courses. In this minor, there are some basic courses on optimization and MATLAB or other softwares as well, not just maths and physics. You need a good handle of softwares. You need a good handle of theory from some other places. So those courses are also there. In fact, many basic courses in this area, they are prerequisites for courses in other departments or fields in general. An optimization course is a prerequisite for so many other courses. So there's a wide scope of the courses. It's not just the wide scope of the branch, but even the courses that are taught in the branch. You need them in many places. That was the second motivation. The third one is my particular interest in robotics. So I personally had an affinity towards robotics right from the beginning, but you all need not worry about that. It's not necessary for you all to have any specific interest as such right from the beginning. But so yeah, as I was saying, no one, it's not a prerequisite to have any such interest or any such particular knowledge of any such field right from the beginning. I just had a personal liking, and that is it. Nothing more than that. And the next part is the uniqueness and exposure of this branch that I was going to get. So after all, in ITB, actually, Syscon is a branch which is a very specific, a novel and a rare branch. And I still don't know how many colleges in India must be having this branch or having courses related to this branch. But even in IITs, we do not have a bachelor's degree. We have a master's degree. So thought it would be a great exposure, and indeed it is a great exposure to courses of great standard, of something which people need at the masters and levels ahead, and something which one is going to need in general, irrespective of their branch. So these were the motivations, and of course, you all can have your motivations, shouldn't be a problem. But with these motivations, I took up this minor, and since then the journey has been great. Let's go ahead. So let's look at the structure of this minor course. So Syscon, you have to complete 30 credits, as you all must be knowing by now, over 6 or 8 semesters to get your minor degree in this. So 6 credits for a course, which means you have to cover 5 courses in total. So dual degree might have 8 semesters left, otherwise 6 semesters left in the NC. And over these 6 semesters, you'll have to cover 5 courses. The structure is honestly a bit rigid and has less flexibility as compared to other courses. But first, you have to complete 3 compulsory courses. You need to finish 3 courses which are compulsory before you take up any other course from Syscon. As these 3 courses, they are the prerequisites for most of the other courses from Syscon department. So you finish these 3 courses first, and then you can take the 2 additional courses that are there. You can choose these courses from a huge basket of courses, huge, absolutely huge. And of course, you can take these courses only after you finish these 3 courses successfully. And to get the degree, you need to have the M tag, which means you have to select your courses during pre-registration. And if 5 of your courses have the M tag, you'll get a minor, which is something you all must be aware of. If you all want to see the list of the additional courses that you all can opt for, you can go to this website here, sc.iitb.ac.in, and go to the courses page of this website. And you'll have details of each and every course, the course curriculum, what they teach, the prerequisites. But don't worry, these 3 compulsory courses, they definitely don't have any prerequisites. none hard prerequisites as such. But of course, there are a few soft skills which might help, which we'll discuss ahead. Going to the next slide. Yep, the course overview. So these three compulsory courses, they are SC 639, Mathematical Structures for Control, SC 202, Signals and Feedback Systems, and SC 301, Linear and Nonlinear Systems. It is advisable to do these courses in this order, which has been specified, since these courses, they're soft prerequisites for one another. So of course, you'll get admitted to the course, which shouldn't be a problem. But knowing the previous course is always a benefit of this, of doing courses in this order. And all these three courses, they will be running in slot 5, as you must be knowing. So if you all are thinking of doing any double minor or additional ALCs kind of a thing, these are most of the Syscon courses, by the way, they run in slot 5. Even if they are from the basket of these courses, they will be running in slot 5. So doing more than one course of Syscon itself in the same semester might be a difficult thing to do. And as far as the basket of courses is concerned, you have a huge range of courses. You've got optimization course, observation theory, Lie groups, adaptive, robust, nonlinear controls, mobile robotics, autonomous vehicles and related courses, game theory, and many, many, many more. So these courses, you actually have one separate course for each of these topics that I've mentioned here. So, and many more, which means you can get the idea of how many courses there are. You've got a huge flexibility. You've got a huge availability for these two courses. And of course, if you'll finish these two courses and you'll still have a semester left, you can explore more as well. There are many more courses that y'all can opt for. So that was the course overview. And let's move ahead. Yep. So these are some pointers, and this is where I'll spend most of the time discussing. The courses are math heavy, as I said, and the three compulsory courses, especially the three compulsory courses, they have heavy math involved, which is similar to what math that you'll studied in MA 108, 109, or MA 105, if someone is from an earlier course structure. They are math heavy, but it is abstract theoretical math. It is not calculation heavy mathematics. But definitely, if you do not have a great affinity towards this kind of mathematics, you will have to put in more efforts if you'll opt for the Syscon minor. Next, most of the concepts that are taught are going to be mathematical, and a good hold on JE Maths is a plus, especially the calculus part of it, and to some extent linear algebra as well. But that is something that you can not worry about, since the beginning course, the first course itself, which is ME 639, Mathematical Structures for Control, that course covers a decent amount of linear algebra, right from the basics to the sophisticated part of linear algebra, which you will be using ahead. So you'll need not worry about that. That you'll will know, you'll get to know. But definitely, a good hold of this kind of a math is definitely a plus. And generally, these three courses, 639, 202, and 301, they are done in SEMs 3, 4, and 5, respectively. So you'll have SEM 6, 7, and 8 to take your additional courses. And of course, do them in that order itself. Since if you go on the SC website, you all will definitely see this kind of a hard structure. But of course, it's not necessary that you have this hard structure. These three courses, 639 and 301, they run in the odd semesters, and 202 runs in the even sems, which is a spring sem. So of course, in 3, 4, and 5, you all can cover these courses, and then you all can explore the basket. So there's a read more link, by the way, right at the bottom corner here. And you can have access to this link. I'll be sharing this presentation. So you can go to this link and see all the courses that are there and see the particular area. If you already have some liking about it, you all can go to this website, read about the courses, and plan your minor structure, your minor details of which courses you would like to explore. And as far as the course project is concerned, there is no course project for the first 3 courses. They are purely theoretical in nature. But going ahead, as far as the basket courses are concerned, they may or may not have course projects. Most of them do have course projects, but definitely not necessary for the initial 3 compulsory courses. So these are the pointers from my side. And of course, looking at the chat, I would like to add a couple of more points. So regarding the CPI, if you all have a CPI around 8 or around 7.5, I think you all should be able to get the compulsory courses. Generally, there isn't much of a competition when it comes to choosing courses from the basket, but definitely there is going to be quite some competition when it comes to choosing the first 3 courses. And of course, I am not sure if the course info booklets of this year, the upcoming year, are out or not, but they will be soon if they're not. And you can have a look of what the cutoffs were before before this year, by last year, what the cutoffs were. But as far as I remember, I think during my year, something around 8 was a good enough score to get to these courses. And of course, that is for the first 3 courses. For the next courses, you don't generally have this hard prerequisite, because even if there is a hard prerequisite, you can always approach the professor, express interest, tell them that you wish to go do this course, and the professor will take you in, because there's a course cap of the number of students that the professor can take. So the first 3 have a large number of students, but the next few courses have a lesser number of students. So generally, professors are open to taking students if they show interest without putting much weightage on their CPIs. But anything about 7.5 or 8 should be good enough for you to get through the first 3 courses of systems and control. And given that there is less flexibility, you have to do 3 courses, compulsory courses right at the beginning. So there is less flexibility in terms of the CPI. So for example, if you don't get the first course itself, which is 639 in this semester, you'll have to wait for a year to get that course again. And then after doing that course in your 5th semester rather than 3rd, after that, you'll be able to do these 3 courses. So of course, the flexibility in terms of CPI is a bit less, but if you get in the first course, you definitely will be eligible for the second and third course based on CPI. That shouldn't be a problem. And going ahead, these courses should definitely not be a problem as far as the CPI is concerned. Talking about how heavy the courses are academically, so math-wise, they are heavy. Academically, they do add load in your total academic calendar, but not so much that it's unmanageable. They are definitely not as heavy as elect courses. For example, I heard a little bit, Shashank was talking before this. So they definitely don't add as much load compared to an elect course, but they are relatively rigorous courses as far as the mathematics is concerned. And if you regularly attend the classes and if you regularly do the assignments, I think that should be good enough to get you a decent grade and clear these courses. And it's not like you'll be having assignments every week or every class or something like that. They will be spaced out, and you'll will have ample time to do or complete those assignments. Couple of weeks, 2 or 3 weeks is definitely there before a quiz or an assignment. So regular attending of classes and completion of assignments should take you through the course. And of course, the structures of these 3 courses especially is it's a continuous evaluation structure. So if you attend classes regularly, then you will be good enough in the continuous evaluation. So that is something that'll help you take through these courses. If you all are attending classes regularly, you all won't honestly need to study for a very long time outside the class hours, and you all can manage this course especially with your core courses. So that these two things definitely are manageable. And okay, so that was it from my side about systems and controls. Any questions? Please feel free to put them in the chat. And
All right. Thank you very much, Shantanu, for that very, very elaborate review of the Syscon minor. I'm sure it was very useful to a lot of us. Thank you.
Great. So thank you from my side as well. If anyone wishes to contact, feel free to contact me on this number or this email ID, and these slides will be available through these coordinators. And thanks a lot. This was a great presenting.
Thank you. Yeah, so you can feel free to answer any questions in the chat.
Sure.
Sure.
It starts to get a little glitchy. You're very welcome to put your video off.
Sure.
Yeah, you can present your screen.
Okay, so before I start, let me introduce myself. I am Rohan Sonawane. I have completed my 4 years in Metallurgical Engineering and Material Science department, and now I am pursuing IIIT MBA in SGM Somin Finance. So I have also completed my minor in entrepreneurship and currently working on my startup idea. So that's why I feel that it's very much relevant for you guys to understand why you should go for minor in ENT courses. So generally what I have seen is there are 3 types of students which go for ENT courses. First is those who have idea and want to pursue it by learning things. Second are those who don't have any idea, but they just want to network with the people and develop idea or maybe startup in the future. But there are third type of people who just want to do these courses like just for fun. Maybe in future they want to take they want to go in startup, they want to build startup, or they want to not, or they just go for CPI science, because these are also the courses which can be tagged as institute electives and quite scoring as well. So students prefer that as well. So yeah, my motivation behind this ENT courses was like, although I didn't have any idea, but there was a session which was conducted by ISAA, which mainly focused on 2 higher studies versus entrepreneurship and versus uh, higher studies versus entrepreneurship versus jobs which you take after your placement. So in that, I was fascinated more like everybody else, like yeah, entrepreneurship is magic and all such things. And so I just started going to ENT classes just for fun. But later, when I network with the people, network with the students there, and I found my co-founders there, and then we came to an idea, which is where we are right now working on. So yeah, more like speaking about ENT courses, if you are of any 3 of these categories which I spoke about, you can surely go into it. Especially it will be more fun if you have idea, but if you still don't have idea, then it's good. And it's okay, like you can find the like-minded people, like-minded students in that group of students, and with them you can maybe start in the future, like after graduation or maybe in your 3rd or 4th year, like I started in my 3rd year. So speaking about the courses, many students just get confused between the courses because there are just 6 courses, and out of those 6 courses you have to complete minimum of 5 courses to get the minor degree, which is 30 credits as listed here. So ENT 603, which is Introduction to Entrepreneurship, is the first course which I think you should go and take, because although you have idea, but you still don't know that there is a pathway which have to be followed by an entrepreneur or by a student to go from that idea up to your product or go to the market and etc. Like you don't know what to pitch, what is idea, there are many steps while you pitch as well. So all these things and all these things, all these, what you can say, there are certain terms which you want to understand regarding entrepreneurship world. You can get an introduction of these terms from this course, like what is go to market, what is marketing about, what is creating a new venture, what is the financing with respect to entrepreneurship, because financing in general for any business is far different than that of startup. Also, while creating a new product, how to build your team, how to select your co-founders, there are many such questions which you have. You can get answers to those questions. And again, let me be clear about this, that if you are going just for fun or just for getting good grade and what you can say letter, like translating it as a institute elective, it's just fine. But for getting a crux of entrepreneurship, I hope you can just go there and just enjoy the sessions, because unlike other minor courses, here particularly you will have some fun case studies which will go through about different companies, different startups, and the practical knowledge is more like uh, you will get to know about it. You will understand how actually a startup works. It's very fascinating to see someone has raised some series A, B, C, D, etc. But there is a process to it which you can go through this from this introduction. So I will just give that thing, like if you are out of these three categories which I have mentioned about, then you can pursue this. Okay, this just about this one course. So after this, you can go to developing of proof of concept course. Now here in this course, it would be great if you have an idea. And if you have an idea, if you have valued that idea, checked with the customer, because there is a cycle where you have to go out, you have to meet the customers, you have to take their problems into consideration, and based on that, you have validated your idea, and now you have to develop a product out of it. Then that's where this course come into developing a proof of concept, developing a product out of it. Now again, if you don't have an idea, but still you can just develop anything, something like with what I have developed was just a bench out of what you can say PVC pipes and cardboard. That's it. But and right now they have also started, like what you have developed you have to sell in the SAC. Like there is one session which is organized, you have to sell your product to the IIT Janta. So that's where your skills come into. If you have a good product, you can sell and you can get hands-on experience, practical experience, and ENT is all about it. If you want to have that practical experience, then only you can go through it. So that's what happened in this developing a proof of concept course. Now next is marketing and finance for entrepreneurs. Now in this course, again, you will see mostly the marketing and finance in depth, like how to build a journey from financing, from bootstrapping to raise up to angel investors or going for a venture capitalist and all those things, then how to market it. So all these learning outcomes you can get through this marketing and finance. Again, this is open to all. And like all the students can do it. If you have idea, if you don't have an idea, it's okay, still you can do this course just to get a gist of an idea, like how in startup world marketing and finance works. Next is managing innovation and IP for technopreneurs. Now your idea, now this is especially for the students who have idea, and it's not like I'm talking about the students who have idea, but again, this is open to all. But if you have idea, if you have tested it out, you have started building it up. Now there is a main phase where you have to know about how my idea, my product or my service should have IP. What IP it should have, because there are lots of IPs. There is service mark, trademark, logo, each and everything. So what patents you should apply for and what are not. So all these things will be very much important in your startup journey, and that's why this course you should opt for. If you don't have idea, you can go just for knowledge, but like more like you can't get the sense out of it. So that's why I said that if you have an idea, if you have a product, then it would be great, because that's where you can interact with the professor as well. Like in that case, like how your startup can be more connected with this, and that's where it would be more fun to you. So that is all about this managing innovation and IP for technopreneurs. Next is technology venture creation. Now this is the capstone course where you have to build your business plan. Now let me tell you what business plan is different than marketing and finance plan. So in business plan, you have to note down all your business which would be there in the future from scratch, like what would be your revenue streams, who are the customers, specific customers you have to target, what is your idea of market launch, like idea of starting up, how to launch your product in the market, what is your business model canvas. All these things is where technology venture creation comes into, and this is where after this course it is expected to uh, launch your startup. It is expected, but it's not like you will launch. But if you follow this timeline, this is how this timeline was made. This is how it was designed, so that after this course, students can launch their startup. So in this startup, again, you will go for customer discovery. You will go for a product validation. Now there are certain steps in entrepreneurship. Like first you have idea validation, then you have product validation, and then you have business plan validation. Because the revenue streams which you will think about may not work sometimes. So that's why you have to turn around, change a bit of your business plan, or each and everything you have to check one a bit of it. Like generally what we do in business, like yeah, mere paas product hai, we will go in the market and we will sell. This doesn't work in startup world. You have to check each and every step. That's why these courses would help you to make that steps clear, how to go one by one, how to climb the steps to launch your product and to get the funds. They also help you in getting funds. There are certain programs run by Idea, like you might be heard about Ideas program. So these programs help you to develop your like they give some funds to you, and based on that you can develop your product or the service. So going through these courses, especially technology venture creation, would mainly taking help you in taking your product to the market. And final, developing a course POC advanced. So again, so prototype, or what we generally say MVP. MVP is minimal viable product. So minimal viable product is the advanced version of prototype that would be directly sold into market, like which could be given to the customers to get the reviews and all those things. So building that MVP, like the prototype which you have built in POC basic course. Okay, so which ENT 606 maybe. So developing a POC basic course, taking it to the advanced level is something you will do in this course, like developing MVP from the prototype. So these are the 6 courses. Other than that, there are some electives as well. Electives which are agro-based industries. Like if you have an idea related to rural agro-based industry, then you can go to this course. Then they are innovation by design. So this is course mainly taken as a institute elective. And then you have collaborative engineering by ME and entrepreneurship in materials engineering by Meta department. But for completing your minor degree, you have to complete 5 of the courses from this 6 ENT courses, like ENT 603, Introduction to Entrepreneurship, ENT 606, Developing POC, basic course, ENT 609, which is Marketing and Finance for Entrepreneurs, ENT 610, managing innovation and IP for technopreneurs, and then technology venture creation and developing POC advanced. So this was all about these courses. Now what I have been seeing in last 2-3 years, because I have been speaking in each and every course, like after they start, like being a student and being a startup co-founder as well. So they call us to introduce our startup in the sessions. So generally, when I started, there were just 60 students, and now there are more like 120 to 150 students in one class for each and every course. So these courses are quite high demanded, because there is we know, like there is a startup craze going on in the market, like especially in IIT Bombay as well. So when we see about CPI, now they have, earlier they did not have that CPI criteria. Now they have, like they take more than like students who are more than 7 or 7.5. They take students more than students have 7.5 CPI maybe. Only for that first course, which was Introduction to Entrepreneurship. The remaining courses, students can generally get those courses. And if you have an idea, but if you still did not get in any of the course, you can mail to the professors or the in charge of Desai Sethi School of Entrepreneurship, DSSC. You might get other than that as well. Like if you have an idea, then they support the students who have idea. So it's not just like the course where you just go and sit and just take knowledge and come. The courses are morely practical. So I will suggest, if you have idea, if you genuinely interested in entrepreneurship, go for the courses. If you are going for just for uh, getting CPI, good CPI for institute elective, I would prefer do some other courses. Yeah, mostly all about it. You can ask your doubts. If you have any questions, you can.
Okay, thank you, Rohan, for that elaborate review. The attendees will put there any queries that they have in the chat, so you can refer to the chat and answer any queries if you see them. Okay. Okay, proceeding forward, next we have Ali, Asgar, Saifee, who will talk about the management minor. I can share your screen.
So, hey everyone, hope you all are doing well and are now all set to move into your senior years. So, I am Ali Asgar Saifee and I'm a 2B fourth in the MEMS department. I basically hail from Aurangabad, Maharashtra. And let's get started with this minor review. So, I have been pursuing the management minor since my fourth semester and I have completed 3 courses so far and I'll be doing the remaining 2 courses in the upcoming year. So, let's begin. So the agenda of this presentation is to basically understand why should you pursue a minor in management if you are hailing from an engineering background. I'll give you an overview of the minor as a whole. Then I'll tell you about what the courses entail in general. And then I'll tell you about my experience, how it has been with this minor so far. And finally, I'll give you a summary of the entire minor. So let's get started. So why should you pursue a minor in management? So as you all might know, management basically is a field which revolves around managing or supervising various verticals of a business to improve its overall functioning. So a minor in management can help you kickstart your career in non-core and also develop key essential business acumen. Furthermore, the minor in management here provides you a strong foundation of various management domains like marketing, finance, operations, strategy, HR, and project management. These courses give you a detour from traditional core courses. So they are very fun and hands-on courses to experience. So these are different from our traditional core courses in the sense that these courses are very interactive and they involve a lot of live industry case studies, team projects. So in all, it is a great learning experience. And also you get to experience the feel of doing an MBA course sitting in an engineering background. So this is a great detour from our traditional core courses. And also it adds to a new dimension to our academic profile. Next, it provides you insights which are helpful in every walk of life. So courses like finance, marketing, operations, strategy are useful in almost everything that we do in our life. So you might have been ignorant about that, but doing these courses will help you develop good insights. So this will definitely improve your knowledge on a lot of fronts. And lastly, they are very chill courses. So they do not require a lot of efforts. It is just that you have to be regular with the classes, be very attentive and interact to the fullest so as to get a very good grade. So a basic overview about this minor. So talking about the prerequisites, there aren't any prerequisites for the courses as such, except for MG 407, which is strategy management. Strategy management requires you to have completed at least one of marketing or finance management courses. However, this course hasn't been running for the past 2 years now. So I'm not pretty sure whether this course will run, but this is something which should not concern you at this point of time. Generally, all these courses have an enrollment cap of 40 to 45 students, and the CPI criteria varies from course to course. It is generally on the higher side for MG 401 and 403, which is somewhere like around 8.5 plus, whereas other courses are generally at the CPI cutoff of 8 plus. These cutoffs are based on past trends, and these are not very hard and fast ones at this point of time. So it will depend on how the next batch has their CPIs, and the cutoffs might vary a bit. In general, this has been the observed trend. The credit requirement for these courses is 30 credits, which is pretty much the same across all the minors. So you have to complete 5 6 credit courses out of 6. All the courses of this minor run in the fifth slot, so you cannot take 2 courses in a particular sem. The fifth slot, if you all know by now, is basically Wednesday and Friday, 9:30 to 11 a.m. slot. And also a word of caution, please be well aware that management minor courses cannot be tagged as institute electives. So you can only tag it as a minor course or an ALC. And for tagging an ALC, you have to take permission, but you cannot tag it as an institute elective. Yeah, so I'll give you a brief course overview of all the courses which are being offered. So I'll start with marketing management, which is MG 401. This course is offered in the odd semesters, and by far this has been the most interesting course in this minor for me. This course helps you develop a clear understanding of various marketing concepts and skills encompassing general business and marketing. This course is divided into 2 halves. The first half is taken up by Professor Aarti Kalro, who by far has been the best professor I have encountered in this course of minor. And her way of teaching is really efficient, and this part of this course will definitely give you a very good flavor of how classes go in an MBA college. So the first half mainly deals with branding strategies and marketing strategies, which include 5 Cs and 4 Ps, which are basically marketing strategy and marketing mix. STP, which is segmentation, targeting, positioning. PLC, which is product life cycle, branding, consumer behavior, etc. The second half is taken up by Professor Dinesh Sharma. This half deals with mainly customer profitability analysis and lifetime value, pricing, services marketing, and some other topics to list. A good part of this course is that there is good enough hands-on application through various industry case studies and team projects. So this is a very fun part of this course, and you will definitely enjoy studying this entire course in all. So now let us move on to the next course, which is Operations Management, MG 406. This is offered in the even semesters. This course basically will give you insights about logistics management of a company. The course will cover topics like inventory management, resource planning, supply chain design, scheduling, etc. This course is a bit mathematical as compared to other courses in the sense that there are some basic mathematical formulae involved, which form an essential part of the evaluation. Also, a plus point of this course is that you can directly visualize the application of all the formulae or all the concepts you learn in this course in practical situations, which is very well communicated through various case studies and team projects. Next, we'll look at accounting and finance, which is MG 403, and this course is also offered in the odd sem. This course will basically give you a basic understanding of the financial side of businesses. This is also divided into 2 halves. The first half is taken up by Prof. Varadraj Bapat, and this half deals with basics of accounting. You will understand interpreting various financial statements and also annual reports of a company to develop key business insights. The second half is taken up by Professor Rohan Chinchwadkar, and this part deals with financial ratios, evaluating and rating techniques, etc. This course is very helpful in the sense that you will definitely gain some very good financial knowledge, which will help you understand businesses, the financial side of businesses, and also increase our ability to read and interpret financial news. Yeah, so next up we have strategy management, which is MG 407. This course is offered in the odd semester. Strategy management basically revolves around developing strategies that a company should work on to basically outsmart their rivals. So this course deals with short and long-term strategies, product placement, influence of external and internal environment, and some other topics to list. A novel thing about this course is that Although all the other courses will teach you the roles of various managers in a specific profile of a company, this course deals with what the company as a whole should do for its growth and success. So in a way, this is a different course as compared to all the courses offered and is a good experience. But however, this course hasn't been running in the past 2 years, and we hope that this course is like again being offered in the upcoming years. But you don't have to worry about this at this point of time because this has a prerequisite to complete at least one of marketing management or the financial management courses. Next up, we have the project management course which is MG405. This course again is offered in the even semester. This course basically tells you about aspects of planning and how to invest in a project. And some key concepts listed in this course are like role of a project manager, project selection techniques, structuring concepts, project planning tools, cost estimating, risk management, etc. Last but not least, we have Human Resource Management, which is MG402 course. This is offered in the event semester. This course basically tells you about how HR deals with basically recruiting, evaluating, and rewarding its employees. This course will help you develop a strong foundation by understanding various HRM, which are human resource management strategies. Some of the key concepts include principles of HRM, manager and his responsibilities, planning and staffing, induction and orientation, and various methods of performance evaluation. Now talking about my experience. So I would rate my overall experience as 4 out of 5. This is based on the following discussions. So my learning experience has been really great so far. I have developed a good level of business acumen, and I now understand various verticals of a business. And by the course of this minor, I was able to discover my field of interest, which is management. And this course has definitely been a very valuable addition to my profile, both in terms of learning and in terms of the management degree aspect. However, I did not rate it as 5 on 5 because a thing which I observed was that the course marketing management was really interesting one. However, the other courses were not as interesting as compared to that, either because of the professors or the content. So after doing the marketing management course, the bar was set very high, but the other courses weren't near to that level. So I kind of started losing my interest, but yet it has been a great experience overall. So final summary, management can be a really awesome field to pursue. And we all know that as engineers, a lot of us have been very intrigued by this field. And a minor in management will definitely provide you with the required foundation. Although it is not the ideal foundation that you need, but this is definitely something which will add value in terms of your learning as well as your profile. The program offered by SJM SOM is very well planned and recommended for those who want to explore this field. But there are some criteria due to the course enrollment cap. And in case if you aren't able to get any particular course in this minor and gaining knowledge is your ultimate goal, then you can definitely refer to some online courses, which are a great alternative. So this brings us to the end of my monologue, and you can feel free to ask any questions. I'll be happy to answer them, or you can definitely reach out to me over WhatsApp on my number, which is shown here. So, yep, this brings us to the end of my presentation, and I hope I didn't bore you all.
Thank you, Ali. That was a really great review. I'm sure everyone benefited from it. People are already showing their interest in the chat. If you find any questions in the chat, you're welcome to answer them and address them directly. So, right, we'll move on. And now we have Ghosalia, who will be talking about the Hss Minor.
Cool. Hi, guys. So I'm Khushi. I'm a 2B fourth year student in the Aerospace Engineering Department. I have been pursuing the HSS minor since my third sem. I took a break in between, did a little bit of management, but then I jumped back to HSS. So that is what I am hoping. Like I'm hoping to complete my HSS minor in the next semester. So let me start by walking you through why did I choose the HSS minor. I think Ali fairly well covered that why should you do a minor. Let me tell you about why did I do HSS specifically. So HSS and management were something which was very interesting to me since school time. And I was always fairly when I came to know the whole minor concept, I was super confused. Should I do management? Should I do HS? Eventually, in the first COVID summer, I did a course on social psychology, which was on Coursera. That was, I mean, it was an eye opener. It was a very good course, and that motivated me to start with the HS minor. I gave a try for one of the management minor courses in my fourth sem, but I did not like it that much. So I jumped back to HS, and I mean, that's where I am since then, and I am planning to finish that off. Now, why again, like coming to other reasons, another reason that, you know, I chose HS, and I think a lot of people do choose HS, is because, as Ali mentioned about management, same applies here. It gives you a good break from your engineering rigor, from the courses that you do in your core, in, you know, whatever like other courses that you do in your specified curriculum. It is an excellent break from that. This other reason is that HS courses, at least the minor courses, they don't have any CPI criteria. My CPI wasn't that great, so HS was the only thing that I could do in my third year. So CPI is not a criteria, and it's a good break. And also, the diversity of courses is the best in HS. If I were to, I mean, I'm not trying to sell it too much, but the core diversity of courses is really good. I'll come to that. So let me just walk you through the HS minor. So in terms of structure, there is not much of a structure to the HS minor. There are a lot of courses available which you can pick and choose. One course will always be running in slot 5, but that course can be repeated through your Insti life of 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is. So you can take up other 4XX or 3XX courses from the HS department, retag, or 5XX courses also. I'm not sure, but again, it depends on the prof. But the point is, there is a lot of flexibility in terms of the courses you get to select. All right. So there is no rigid course structure. You can choose different courses which are not listed as a minor, and then you can choose to retag them as a minor. But of course, you confirm with the professor beforehand. So the flexibility is excellent in HS. I don't think that flexibility exists in any other minor department or any other minor degree. Now, in terms of the span of subjects that the HS minor covers, the HS minor is very, very diverse in terms of the subjects it covers. There is philosophy, sociology, literature, psychology, economics. Then there is culture, and there are a bunch of things. It is very, very diverse. So it's basically every semester you're learning something new. You're learning something absolutely different. You're gaining more perspective on something which you don't know about. So in that sense, it's an excellent choice. At least for me, it has worked out very well. Like, I did a course on literature in my, like, that was my first minor course. It was about Shakespeare and how the write-ups of Shakespeare are adapted into movies and whatever. So we did movie reviews, we did book reviews. So that was really fun for me. And then there is, on the other spectrum of things, there is an economics course. There are courses on economics which are fairly mathematical. So it gives you a good balance of that, theoretical and applicative courses. So in that sense also, the HS minor is excellent. Again, as I mentioned, there are very limited courses which run in slot 5, which is one every semester. So, but that does not mean that you have to do that course. As I mentioned before, there is flexibility. So you can choose to do some other course which is not running in slot 5, but you can ask the prof and then retag it as a minor. So yes, coming to what are the logistics of these courses, there are no prerequisites for any of the courses whatsoever. At least I have not come across any course which requires anything, like you to know anything beforehand. There are no CPI criteria as well, but there can be seat caps in certain courses. But again, I have never faced this issue. There are certain courses which get filled very fast, but the point is just to be aware that you want to do a certain course and be proactive and try to get it if it's a first come first serve. Otherwise, sometimes they can also do a CPI based this thing for filling the seat if there are too many applicants. But that is, I think, something you should not worry about. People generally get HS minor courses in case you are interested to do it. And in terms of the classes, even in the online scenario, the classes were super interactive. I mean, I would say that I've been to my minor classes more than I've been to my core classes, because the interaction was on another level. You are involved with the professor very regularly. You have a lot of conversation which happens in the class. It requires you to participate. So in that sense, it's a lot of fun. It helps you develop a lot of soft skills as well, if you want to look at it from that perspective. So the highlight for me in this minor has been, it has given me a new perspective, a new way to look at things, especially if you end up doing some philosophy course. It can actually be very fun. So I haven't done any, but yes, it can be fun, is the point, and the diversity is just amazing. Right. So coming to dual minor, I'm not sure if anyone has spoken about this before, but there is a provision for a dual minor. But with the HS minor, I think it is possible. I mean, because, of course, you will need a lot of thought. You'll have to put in a lot of thought. There's a lot of planning which needs to go into it. But depending on your load of the core department that you're in, depending on your major, you can choose to do a dual minor along with HS. It is a lot of effort, but it is doable, because in the HS minor, you can take other courses, ALCs, and very easily retag them to a minor. So, I mean, in terms of that, you can, honestly, if you wish to, you can complete the HS minor in like 2 sems if you think through it very, very diligently. And if you're lucky to get courses in your free slots. Again, but that's something that it's your call if you want to do it or not. But again, like just putting it out there, it's super high on effort, and you need to be very, very cognizant of what you are doing. You need a lot of insane planning skills, but it is doable. At least with the HS minor, it is easier, I would say, because it is not stringent in terms of, there is no minor curriculum that is listed that you have to do these courses. Yeah, I think that is pretty much it. Just to cover a few more things that I probably missed out. It's a 30 credit minor, same as all minors, I think. You have to do 5 courses, 6 credits each. And I think all offered courses are 6 credits only. So you have to do 5 courses. So yeah, I think that is pretty much it about the HS minor. I have had a great time by far. And I regret that one sem when I did not do an HS minor course and I did something else. So that is how good my experience has been. But again, I was equally interested in the courses. But there are people who, have not found it interesting enough. So I would suggest that if you are interested even a little bit, try a course. If you find it fun, continue. If you don't, then it's okay. As you can retag your HS courses to institute electives as well. So that is also an open option. So you take an ALC, retag to minor if you want to do a minor, institute elective if you wish to discontinue the minor. So those courses won't quote unquote go waste if that's how you're looking at it. I think that's about it from my side. I have my contact details on the slides, in the initial slides. If these folks will share it with you, you can contact me if you have any questions, you want to talk about the HS minor or anything in general. And I think that's my time. That's pretty much it. Thank you, guys. I hope it was informative.
Oh, great. Thank you, Khushi, for that review. I'm sure it was very, very useful to everyone. Right, then let's move on. The next review will be for the Biosciences minor, which will be reviewed by Aryan Gupta.
Hello everyone, I am Aryan Gupta. I am a 2B30 in the Department of Chemistry, and I'll tell you about the Bioscience minor. So, for chemists, bioscience is like a sister field. You can see a meme, even the biology people do a majors in chemistry, and vice versa happens. So it's kind of like a sister relationship. Yeah, moving ahead, the question is why you should take bio minor. So I would like to begin by quoting Steve Jobs. He said, I think the biggest innovations of 21st century will be intersection of biology and technology. And indeed, this is because, biosciences and bio minor itself, is highly interdisciplinary in nature. So like, if I give you an overview, this is an article actually published in Nature Reviews, very reputed journal with a very high impact factor. And these are the various areas that actually come under bioscience. People are not really aware. And, in our institute also, we have a lot of courses here. Like, for example, it says simulation based system analysis, modeling of complex systems, we do have these courses, mathematical modeling of biological system. We have these courses present here. It says nanotechnology, electronics. We have biomedical engineering course. We have nanobiotechnology course. It says photonics and imaging. We have biomedical imaging course. It says spectroscopy. We have biophysical chemistry course in bioscience department that deals with spectroscopy. It says chemical genetics and structural methods and reaction mechanism, kinetics. Even all of these courses are running up in bioscience department, which brings me to the next point, which is why what can be the other motivation of taking a bio minor. And one of the reasons which I should emphasize, must not be a big reason, but it's a good point, is that grading stats are in your favor. So if you see this, this was a data analysis done by the DAV team last year. And if you look at the distribution of AA and AP, you can see bioscience department coming at second number, right? So bioscience is very generous in distributing grades, and the courses are like really really interesting. Plus the grading is also super chill, so it becomes really fascinating experience. And these are some of the courses which one of which this BB610 went viral. People were like taking it, like they became crazy about it. So it had like 376 grade distributed, out of which 343 were A. There was a course nanobiotechnology, which a lot of people are not aware, in which out of 45, 42 grades given were A. So if you explore, there are too many courses in bioscience which have a lot mind-blowing grading. Having said about grading also, and what can be the technical reasons, the most important part is you have many brilliant professors in the bioscience department. They're really really very good. The average bioscience minor class, whichever course I have attended, have been really interactive. Professors are also very friendly. They are super chill. They deal with the PG people only, so they are not very very strict. It's a class where the communication is very good. The assignments and even the course content is up to date. I remember in one of the course which I'll mention, the class was on the February first week, and professor was discussing an article from January last week. The recently published article he was discussing. That's the extent to which some professors actually teach in bioscience department. Now coming to the courses which I took, the green ones are in the odd sem, the red ones are in the even sem. And you must be wondering like how I completed 30 credits in 1 year. It's because I am in Department of Chemistry and it's a bit chill here. So I took up 48 extra credits, out of which 30 were of this bioscience minor. And to give us just just overview of these courses, BB413 biochemistry was one of the best course that I have taken at IIT. Not even in this department, at IIT. It was taken by Professor PV Balaji. He's a highly experienced professor, and he also was a member of the International Biology Olympiad team. He was a team leader and was associated with the IBO team. He's a fantastic teacher. You can say him the H.C. Verma of bioscience. And he takes this course very fascinatingly, starting from the origin of life, going about the chemical basis of it, talking about adaptive laboratory evolution, to structure of proteins, their properties, to different biochemical properties. And this course is filled with a lot of assignments in which you need to put your real brain, and it's really mind blowing. One of the best course. Second one was Cell and Molecular Biology by Professor Patankar. It was a really nice course. It introduces you to the very fundamental concepts of cell and molecular biology, and I recommend this particular course. You should take it irrespective of whatever courses you will be taking for this minor, because this course will be very useful for understanding of all the other courses. you should take it as a compulsory course. The next 4 courses, were kind of a bit tough. They you can assume that they had 415 as the prerequisite. So BB 400 was molecular biophysics. It dealt with the different molecular interactions at the level of nucleic acids, proteins, and we explained very many phenomena using it. It was a tough course, essentially a equivalent of biophysical chemistry. Since I am a chemistry person, I took it. That was my point of interest, and if you are not into chemistry, you must not take it. But it was a really interesting course. The next one was molecular diagnostic, and this is something I recommend all of you. Firstly, because it is very relevant, since COVID was there, you are aware of RT-PCR. Similarly, there are techniques like ELISA. There are techniques like mass spec. All of these techniques are told in this class. And one of the great things about Professor Patankar is that she every year invites a speaker from industry. So that person comes in and gives you the perspective from an industry point of view, like how do they, how do these things work at the industrial level. That is what is, very important for you to learn, that you won't get in any other course but this course. And one good thing about Professor Patankar is actually, the end for this course are kind of like story. So if your concepts are clear, the paper is open book. The paper not really open net, but it became open net actually for COVID semester. But yeah, it's open book, open notes. You can go, you can read it. It's all application of your brain. The next one was principle of tissue engineering. Very easy course, but very interesting course. It will tell you about, how do we engineer tissues, how do organ, implants happen, how do they work, how do we engineer them. The last one was the cell mechanobiology course by Professor Shamik Sen. It was a very tough course, I must say. It took a lot of effort, and if you are really into hardcore bioscience research, then only you should take it. So these were my choices, and why I took these courses was because of the flexibility that bioscience offer. So, if you have the consent of professor, you can easily retag these courses. Even if you take them as ALC for the first time, and then after taking the course, you get their permission, you can, tag, you can do the retagging. And bio department is really chill in the retagging part. That is also what I have got as a feedback from my seniors when I was attending this session. And, this is why I, choose these courses and completed 6 courses. Other than these courses, there are many courses, like I'll come to them, but some general points I want to cover before, I miss them. First is, you should take a 4XX course before a 6XX course, because 6XX course are generally more advanced. So if you take at least 2 4XX course, your base will be clear and you will be ready to, take the other courses, higher level courses. The second point is, in bioscience, you must take a review before taking the course. This is because, the things are a direct function of prof. It's generally valid everywhere, but especially in bioscience, for a 6XX course can be really easier than 4XX course if the professor is different. And do look at the syllabus at the ASC before registering. If you are really fascinated by the syllabus and the content layer, then only take up this course. 6XX course are really useful for the people who are aiming towards getting more projects on their resume, because 6XX course offer you better course projects, more rigorous, like 30 to 40% weightage course projects, where you give a lot of time, where you do more research, and it actually adds more value. So the 6XX course, if you are taking, that will be an icing on the cake. So you should take these challenges up if you are really interested in going ahead in biosciences. You should be regular in lectures and assignments. That's a really important part of the job, because if you hear them, that would be great. Like, they don't read lines from book and all. They take research papers. They even sometimes don't refer any standard books. They take their papers, they discuss them. That discussion part of the research paper is very important, So, be regular in class, ask questions, and some profs are very great. For example, again, Professor Balaji was like, one day we didn't even understand a penny he taught. He repeated the lecture, in the next class, and he was like, I'll teach you. I'm not very adherent to complete the syllabus, but whatever I teach must be clear to you. That was his philosophy, and I was really fascinated. Lastly, there are two unsaid specialization in bio minor. One is the bioscience. These you can say are the courses of bioscience. Second is the biomedical engineering, in which you come the nanobiotechnology related to MEMS. You have the biomedical imaging physics. You have the biomedical engineering introductory courses. So just look at these courses and then make a choice. One important thing for you to note is that some of these courses which you see right now will not be present this year. Reason being that there has been a revision in this curriculum of bioscience department. For example, there used to be a course of bioenergetics and biochemistry separately. Now they have been combined to form BB521. Similarly, molecular and cell biology have been divided into two courses: molecular biology and cell biology, BB405 and BB402. Right. There has been a new course introduced on analytical biochemistry. So these are the things, just keep them in mind and go through the content, and most importantly, take the review of the professors before, selecting your course. And yeah, this is all from my side. I was told to, you have a time limit of speaking about like 10 minutes. So, I wish you all the best. And, just one last message I want to give is to, look at bio minors with a positive outlook. This will actually give you edge. So if you understand biomedical imaging physics better, you will be able to do image processing, from a much more refined perspective. And some professors have been doing it. And, there are many areas in bioscience where there are direct applications of machine learning, artificial intelligence, mathematical modeling, whatnot. So understanding the biology would also give you some edge because you understand the system you are analyzing better. So with these words, I would like to end. These are my contact details. Don't use this email. Just, ping me on this particular number. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aryan. That was a very, very thorough review, giving us general pointers and bio-specific pointers, and of course, keeping it light with all the memes. Thanks again. And if you find any questions specific to anything that you've covered, you're welcome to answer it in the chat.
Sure.
Okay, great. Yes, you can share your screen and start.
Sure. Great. Okay. Hi everyone. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
So, hey everyone, I'm Kunind Sahu. I'm a 2B fourth year student in the MEMS department. Here are my contact details. Okay. And yeah, so I'm here to talk about the Cpi Minor. So let's begin. Hello and welcome to the dark side of science, data science. This is something I found really funny, so that's why I had to include this right here. That's Darth Vader for those all who don't know. Cool. So, okay, moving on to what exactly is machine learning, AI, and data science, and what is all this hype about everything? So, machine learning essentially is the study of algorithms that improve automatically with experience. And what you mean by experience in the real world is essentially data. So, data about a lot of things, data about credit card transactions, data about stock prices, data about a lot of other things. And so that is how you provide experience to your algorithm so that they can improve automatically. And it is essentially a subset of AI as a field. So AI encompasses a lot of things, machine learning, a lot of heuristic algorithms, and a lot of makeshift algorithms, etc., etc. Yeah, and data science, it uses statistics, machine learning algorithms, and other programming tools to extract valuable information from data. And yeah, of course, why is this field really popular? Because there's a huge demand for quality data scientists and machine learning engineers, and also they get paid really well, which is of course not at all important, right? Cool. And yeah, so and of course, data science and machine learning, they're super closely related, intersecting fields with a lot of companies, mistaking their needs for they just, use these terms interchangeably, etc. So, yeah, moving on. Yeah. So, yeah, cool. So, what was your motivation to choose a minor? So, okay. So, to give you some context, I was really interested in programming, and I was exposed to programming yeah, during my school days. So in our ICSE curriculum, we were taught to program using Java. So that is why I was really interested in programming, by the way. Of course, the minors are not really about programming, but yeah, in general, I was really interested by programming and all that stuff. And also, so my first year, the spring semester during my first year, it was cut short due to COVID, and I had a really long summer vacation and all that. So and I had a lot of time to kill. So I had done this online machine learning course offered by Andrew and it's like a really, really famous, like one of the most famous courses in machine learning you will ever encounter. It's a really good course for starting, breaking into the field. And I did that course and it really increased my interest in the field. And of course, I obviously like coding because I was doing it ever since school. And so essentially, I was just basically conflicted between the CS minor and the AI minor, which had been, offered for the very first time during my second year. So during my year, the CS courses being offered were Logic CS228 and Computer Network CS224. And there was this course DS203, Programming for Data Sciences, which had been offered during my second year, first semester, autumn semester of my second year. And I was really conflicted as to what to choose. So I ended up taking DS203, that is Programming for Data Science, because basically, the course was programming heavy and it was super hands-on. And it involved a lot of take-home programming assignments and all that. So I really wanted to do something hands-on and get acquainted with it, get some practice with it, and end up so basically just practice a lot and get some hands-on experiences and not just be limited to theory. So that is why I took DS203 because even the content it seemed really useful from a practical point of view because they taught you a lot of programming tools and softwares and languages used in machine learning. Basically, they equipped you well with a lot of tools and technologies which are required for you to become a really good machine learning engineer. So, for example, Python, SQL, PyTorch, and all the other associated libraries, etc., etc. So yeah, I ended up taking DS203 and yeah, I don't regret that decision at all. It is like one of the best decisions I've ever made because the course was really good and yeah, the professors taught really well. They were really considerate. There were a lot of bonuses in the assignments and yeah, the entire experience was great. So yeah, so that is how I began my journey with the AI minor. Cool. Moving along. So, coming to the structure of the minor, all in all, this minor is super flexible. So, as with any minor, even with this minor, you need to complete 5 courses in all. That is two, and in those 5 courses, there are 2 core courses, namely DS203, 2 core courses and 3 elective courses, which you need to do from this given list. So, 2 core courses, and they involve DS203, Programming for Data Science, and any one introductory machine learning course. So you can choose either DS303 or CS419. Both of these are minor courses offered in slot 5. Usually they run in the spring semester. DS203 runs in the autumn semester. And then you have E769 and GNR 652. E769 usually is open only for 30s and 40s, and GNR 652 can be taken anytime by anyone. And even this course runs in the spring semester. So yeah, and yeah, of course, broadly, DS Studio 3 is not about machine learning. It's more about the tools and technologies used in machine learning rather than machine learning theory itself. So if you just planning to take DS 203 to learn more about machine learning, you'll be sort of disappointed because DS 303 or these courses are much more about machine learning rather than DS 203. Yeah. Also, there are you need to take 3 electives from this course basket. Yeah, so okay, I've already opened this. Cool. So there is a huge list of courses you can take towards satisfying your DS203 C Minus minor requirements. So there are courses from a lot of departments. You have IUR, you have Syscon, you have electrical engineering, you have computer science, you have statistics and mathematics, applied statistics, you have chemical engineering right here. You have electrical engineering, and you also have some courses from BSB, Biosciences and Bioengineering, and some courses from mechanical engineering as well. And so it's a really diverse and interdisciplinary minor. Oh yeah, there's an aerospace engineering course as well. Cool. So yeah, exactly. It's the minor is super flexible. So apart from these two core courses, you can decide the flavor of the other three elective courses which you want to take, and essentially determine the direction of the minor or the much deeper specialization in which you want your minor to go. Yeah. So yeah. So coming to broad themes of the courses, the elective courses in the minor. So you can take courses from a rigorous mathematical theoretical standpoint of machine learning, or applied probability and statistics, or process control and optimization. Essentially, the Syscon and some IUR courses, and then like proper MLDL, deep learning and reinforcement learning courses, and then you have the other concomitant application-based machine learning courses, like you have, or rather, other complementary courses or directions like image processing, computational geometry, signal processing, educational technology, robotics, big data, etc. So yeah, these make up the broad themes of the courses in the minor elective offerings. And see, that is why this minor is so cool. You can actually decide the broad themes in which you want to take your minor because of the three electives which are offered. So you can essentially choose what courses you want to take, and that is something which I really this kind of freedom is something which I really liked about this minor. Um, Moving on, yeah, I think this is like one of the more. This is going to be like one of the most debated or like points of hottest points of contentions between you all, like AI minor, yeah, CS minor. So okay, even I had this confusion quite a lot, but yeah, I kind of ended up doing both, which I'll come to in a while. So yeah, AI minor versus the CS minor. So the CS minor would give you quite a wide overview of computer science as a field. So what is computer science? It consists of a lot of other subfields. You have um, data such as algorithms or operating systems or just software systems. Networks, of course, is a part of software systems. You'll have theoretical computer science, that is logic, discrete mathematics, etc. And then you'll have computational security, network security, cyber security, etc. So these the CS minor courses would give you a wide overview of computer science as a field. Of course, artificial intelligence as well. Uh, AI minor would of course do the same thing, but it would give you an overview or a view of AI as a field. So since AI is like comparatively kind of a narrow field, in my opinion, as compared to CS, so you have much more options to choose a flavor of your minor, unless you and of course you can specialize your minor really well into the area of application you're looking for. For example, if you're really interested in image processing, so you can take DS203, DS303, and then you can take the image processing courses. Like you have CS7 or 6XX, CS663, which is image processing. Then you have CS7 for something advanced image processing, and then you have another CS course about medical image computing. So you can just take all these three courses and then specialize in the field of image processing through the AI minor. So this is something I was talking about. And of course, none of the courses in the minor are about coding per se. So coding is just a tool with which you implement your algorithms, your logic, or you perform computations or calculations, etc. So coding is just a tool, and DS203 is one course in which they teach you all the programming tools and technologies which you need to be familiar with in to be a good machine learning engineer. But none of the other courses are about programming in general or coding in general, or even the CS minor courses. You are expected to know, or you're expected to learn the programming languages by yourselves. Yeah, and yeah, AI minor is about programming for data science, intro to ML, and three electives. Cool. And yeah, coming to dual minor. So the institute has made a provision for dual minors, but mostly it is not practical. Okay, yeah, coming to the slots. So programming for data science, that is DS203, and the other courses a few of the other introductory ML courses, they run in slot 5. DS203 runs in the autumn sem, and DS303 it runs in the spring semester. So apart from these two courses, all the other courses are elective. So you'll have to check out their individual slots and all the timings according to your timetable. And mostly these elective courses, they don't really run in slot 5. So that is a good thing. So this is all this is about. So Institute has made provisions for dual minor, but it is mostly not practical since almost all the courses they run in the minor slot, which is slot 5. Wednesday, Friday from 9:30 to 11. And the AI minor, the C minor, it has only 2 core courses. So basically only 2 courses in slot 5. That is DS203 or DS303. Even CS419 runs in slot 5. Although E769 and GNR 652, even these 2 courses don't run in slot 5. So yeah. So once you have done both these courses in slot 5, your slot 5 is kind of free. So you can use that free slot 5 to take up other minor courses, which run in slot 5, and you can take them. And yeah, of course, if you're super daring, you can complete the AI minor in 2 sems, precisely because you have 3 electives to do. So you can just do DS203 1 sem and some in either 1 or 2 electives, and then in the next sem you can do DS303 or some other course, and then 2 or 1 electives. That is completely your choice. And if you're super daring, you'll be able to complete the AI minor in 2 sems. And yeah, of course, with proper planning, you can do another minor with AI, as I am doing right now. I'm pursuing my dual minor in CS and AI. So I've almost completed my AI minor courses. So I have a free slot 5. So I'm using that slot 5 to do CS minor courses. Yeah, I think I've completed mostly everything. Yeah, and coming to electives. So how do you take these electives towards the AI minor? So what you need to do is, once you have completed both these courses, so you'll just have to, it is best to take, you can just, during the registration, that is, you'll have to take DS203 and DS303 during the pre-registration period. And once you've done these 2 courses and you want to take electives towards your AI minor, so you'll have to register for these courses during the registration period, and you'll have to tag them as ALC. And then later on during the retagging period, you can convert them, you can retag them as minor courses towards the AI minor. And it is best that meet the or rather mail the professors of these respective courses earlier before you're registering, and take their permission of sorts that you wish to take this course towards completing to fulfill your requirements for the AI minor. It is best to take the consent of the professor beforehand so that you don't face any issues later on. But mostly you won't have issues, where it is better to be safe than sorry. And once you've taken the consent, just take that course, register for that course, and tag as an ALC, and then you can retag it as the AI as an AI minor course during your retagging period. So yeah, that is more or less it. So yeah, that is about me. That is more or less it for the AI minor from me. So does anyone have any questions?
Thank you very much, Kunind. You've provided a lot of clarity. You've covered a lot of aspects of this minor and also shared a lot of your experiences, which has helped us a lot, especially. So thank you for that. Right, and
Thank you so much for having me.
That's the experience of a 2B40 from the MEMS department. Now let's hear the experience of a graduate from the CSE department. We have Rwitaban Goswami, who will also be talking about the C minor.
So yeah, hi guys, I'm Rwitaban, and I've completed my 4th year, and yeah, I've completed the minor as well, which is kind of obvious. And yeah, I've done it alongside with my CS degree. So I'll give an overview. I'll give my own take on the DS minor, right? And Kunind has already given a very extensive overview of the minor. But yeah, I'll give my take on it. Yeah, okay. So first of all, who is it for? I don't think I really need to sell this minor to you guys, because this is data science, and everybody pretty much knows that data science is, like, right now it's the hot shit that everyone is looking for. Recruiters are looking out for people who have done data science, who have experience with data science and ML. And you'll see a lot of people in LinkedIn just putting things like, yeah, I'm an expert in ML and data science, and you'll see a lot of people who, they say that I know ML, I know data science, but they only know how to import libraries in Python. But this minor is if you really want to get a good grasp of what ML is, you want to know the applications of ML, but more than that, know the math and rigor behind ML and data science. Right. Kunind already gave you an overview of what ML is. Yeah, so it's basically, there are many definitions of ML, and you already seen a lot of applications of ML. It's everywhere around us. And these days, companies are trying to shoehorn in ML models in like pretty much everything. And you'll run into ML and data science not only in if you go into a core field, but also in non-core field. So I've seen a lot of people who have gone into non-core in finance or analytics or even consulting, and they are required to do ML there, right? So this is important, and this will be good for you. Regardless of which path you choose, you'll pretty much run into ML and data science, everywhere you go. Okay, so if you have an interest in ML, if you have an interest in analytics, which is basically um, analyzing a lot of data, what is going on, finding out correspondences between different things that are in the data, etc. If you are interested in the mathematics behind optimization, if you're interested in the mathematics behind ML and data science, then this minor is definitely for you. And yeah, and what you'll gain from this minor, you'll gain, a good grasp of the theory and math behind all the fancy state-of-the-art ML models that you're seeing around you, right? So you see Google Assistant, which has a pretty good ML model behind it, not only text recognition, but analyzing that as well, right? And you'll see these state-of-the-art models discussed in the courses, which are in the minor curriculum. You'll get, of course, you'll get the basics of all the ML courses, of all the ML, the starting point of ML. So they'll teach you that you don't need to do Andrew Ng. I mean, Andrew Ng is the correct pronunciation. But yeah, you don't need to do the famous Andrew Ng. But yeah, it's good. It will build your interest. So then you have courses with advanced ML, right? So you have fancy ML courses, for which you need some prerequisite knowledge of ML. And then you also have courses with applications of ML in the real world. And then you have math-based courses. So yeah, I'll cover them when I discuss the structure of the minor. Okay, so the structure of the minor, as Kunind told you, is that there are two soft core courses, which are DS203 and DS303. You need to do them. There are some exceptions to this rule. So here are listed that if you've done CS251 or CS669 or CS335, then you're exempted from doing DS203, which basically means it doesn't mean that you need to do one course less. You still need to do 30 courses. You'll need to cover it up using some other course from the DS minor list, right? If you've done these courses which exempt you from doing DS203. So, DS203 exemption list is basically CS4 courses. So, if you're not in the CS department, then you will definitely need to do DS203. If you're in the CS department, then yeah, you'll be doing the SSL course, which pretty much covers what DS203 covers. And what DS203 covers is the tools and technologies that you need for ML and data analytics, like for example, Python, R, and all the different kinds of programming languages and different tools that you'll be needing. So you'll not really learn machine learning from this DS203 or CS251, but you'll learn the tools that you need for them, right? So it's kind of a prerequisite. Other than that, there's DS303, which is basic ML. It starts you off with your how ML works. It teaches you the basics like the fancy word neural nets. Everyone has heard of them. So it teaches you that kind of stuff. And if you've done Andrew Ng, it's basically Andrew Ng's course, but with the math behind it explained as well, right? So if you've done Andrew Ng's course, then it doesn't really explain math behind it. But if you do the CS303 or the alternative courses, then you'll get the math behind it as well. So if you are in the CS department, again, you are exempted from doing the S303. If you're doing the CS minor, then also you are exempted from doing DS303 because CS minor has an AI/ML course, CS419, which exempts you from doing DS303. And there are 3 other courses which also exempt you from doing DS303 listed here, right? So again, this if you've done these courses doesn't mean that you need to do one course less. It just means that you need to do one other course other than DS303 because you still need to do 5 courses. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the structure is that apart from DS203 or 303, or you will need to do courses from these 3 baskets, right? And the extensive list of the courses is given in this link. You can even just search for Cmine's minor on Google, and this link will pop up as the first result. So you can just check that out. There's an extensive list of courses which are covered, and if you start talking about every topic in this list, then we'll be here all day. So I'll just give a brief overview of what the baskets cover. The math baskets covers the mathematics foundations which you will need for studying data science and ML. So it covers statistics, probability, optimization. It covers linear algebra. The good grasp of linear algebra is very essential for data science and ML. So if you did like MA 106, I would suggest you start brushing up on matrices and stuff because that's everywhere there in ML. And I would recommend you, if you don't like math and you want to skip the math basket courses, I would recommend that you do some of the courses which cover the prerequisites that you want to do from the other courses, right? Because math prerequisite, so I mean, a lot of people go into ML and are blindsided by the rigorous amount and heavy amount of math that is behind ML, right? So you do need a strong foundation of math, and I would recommend you take. So, for example, if you're doing an ML course, check its prerequisites. Check if those prerequisites are covered in a course in the math basket. Then, I definitely recommend that you take that math basket course because building the foundations is very important. Then you have the AI/ML basket, which covers most of the ML theory. It covers the mathematics which goes behind the models, right? It covers so starting from basics of linear regression and neural networks to advanced topics like graph-based ML and reinforcement learning, etc., etc. So you have a lot of courses which cover state-of-the-art neural network architectures, which are right now being used. So some of the courses even have papers which have been very recently published, and they'll discuss about that. So there's a lot of interesting stuff going on. So yeah, then there's the application basket, which is kind of similar to the AI/ML basket, but in addition to that, you also have courses on process control, robotics, vision, right? And of course, you have NLP, image processing. Image processing. In image processing, they'll teach you non-ML stuff as well for image processing. So yeah, it basically covers the applications, which includes ML as well as data science. And then yeah, so that's basically the overview of the 3 baskets that you have. And if you're interested in the minor, then yeah, go check out the full list of courses which are covered in the basket. And apart from that, I think Kunind has already mentioned this, but yeah, basically the idea is that apart from DS203 and 303, DS203 and 303 you take from pre-registration. You will need to apply to them through pre-registration, and historically there has been the CPI cutoff was around 8.5 for both, I guess, but I did not take these courses because CS4. But from what I hear, even if you didn't clear the cutoff, eventually the prof did allow most of the students to take the course, right? So there's no such hard CPI requirement as such. It's just the process that you go through pre-registration for DS203 and 303. And then for the other courses, you don't take them through pre-registration. So initially you won't be taking them as a minor course. You'll just register for them as as an ALC elective honors, whatever you want. But during retagging before graduation or placement, you will retag them to minor in DS. So that's the basic idea. So for DS 203, 303, you take them for pre-registration. For the other three courses, or if you're exempted for the other 4 or 5 courses, you will be taking them as an extra course, be it ALC, be it honors, be it institute elective, be it department elective. You take them initially, and then during retagging period, you retag them as minors. Whatever the procedure for that is during your time, right? So the administration changes its procedures for retagging each year, and I don't know what they'll come up, in a few years' time. But okay, basically that's the idea. Yeah, so the soft core courses, DS203 covers the programming aspect of data science. I think I've already covered this. So you have softwares like Python and its relevant libraries, and GP programming, cloud programming are listed in the curriculum. I'm not really sure if they're covered these days in DS203. But that's what is listed in the curriculum. But it'll basically set you for understanding and explore more if you need, right? And DS303 covers the basics of AI ML, along with optimization techniques and the training, testing, validation, etc. So these are topics that you will basically need for every kind of ML architecture or model that you do, right? And DS303 covers that. Okay, so as far as my experience with the Cpi Minor goes, I took these 5 courses. So of course I didn't need to take DS203 and 303. So I took these 5 courses. So I took NLP, which is natural language processing, which is under Prof. Pushpa. And Prof. Pushpak is a very celebrated professor. So if you're at all interested in advanced ML architectures, and if you're interested in language processing, which is basically the stuff that goes on after which is analyzing text, which is part of what Google Assistant or Siri or Alexa does, right? So NLP basically covers that, and it also covers state-of-the-art architectures. So this is a very heavily application-based course, and you do need some advanced ML model knowledge required for this. So I would recommend take this course after you have taken some course before, right? So to do this after you have taken DS 203 or some other AI ML course which teaches you the different models, right? And this also needs you to know the programming frameworks like TensorFlow, Keras, etc., right? Which you need to do the programming assignments. So they don't teach you that; they assume that you know it beforehand. So if you do DS 303 or CS 251, you'll be knowing that. You'll be knowing this stuff, but don't take CS 63 as your first DS course. Is what I'm saying. Then you have reinforcement learning, CS747, which is taken by Prapti, who is also a very celebrated professor. So, and this is math plus application, and there's no pre-requirements as such, prerequisites. The basics math and the programming stuff is covered in the course. So this is a very interesting course that you can take if you're interested in ML. So this is not your standard ML. It's a different kind of machine learning, which you will typically not find in the other ML courses, right? So, so this is interesting. I recommend you check that out. Then you have GNR 638, which is ML for remote sensing taken by Prof. Banerjee. And I would say this course is mostly the basics of ML. It doesn't really cover stuff that DS 203 and DS 303 doesn't cover. It's kind of a basic course. So if you're looking for an easy course to do, GNR 638 is your friend. Then you have I616, which is game theory, which on the face of it is not at all related to ML. It's a very mathematics based course, and the subfield of mathematics that it covers is game theory, which is a field of its own, and it's a very different kind of mathematics from what you're used to, right? Then there is optimization modeling, which is again a very math based course, and this covers again optimization techniques and linear programming I guess you've done linear programming if you're from CBSE, so you did all those things with graphs, if you remember, in class 11th or 12th. I don't remember, but yeah. So you did that, but this is a more rigorous version of that same thing. You might think कि वो तो क्या चीज थी, क्या ग्राफ वाफ तो क्या ही कर रहे थे, but optimization modeling is very interesting. And since they delve into the math behind it, it becomes much more interesting than the stuff that you did in school. Okay, so apart from this, yeah, so this is what you will cover. This is an example of what you will cover in the DS minor, right? Of course, you have a lot of flexibility. You can pick and choose whatever fields you want, whatever courses you want, which is really good for in terms of you can do this minor alongside another minor. So for example, CS minor, a lot of people have the question CS minor versus AI minor. If you're interested in both, you can do both, right? Because most of these courses you take as electives, you can complete them in 2 semesters. In fact, for me, this minor curriculum was introduced in my 3rd year, and I didn't pay much interest to that during that time. But in my 4th year, I realized that I've done a lot of courses which are in the basket already. So I'll just finish this minor. So yeah, that was what made me decide this minor. So I was already doing the courses, the ML based courses, because I had an interest in those. And then I realized that, okay, these are in the baskets. I can just tag them as a minor, right? As far as, Kunind already covered this, but yeah, as far as CS minor versus AI minor, CS minor gives you, it's basically, it's an overview of what the people do in CS4. So it's computer science, and computer science is very different from programming, right? So you will do a lot of programming in ML, right? Because of the application part. But CS, as far as CS is concerned, it's more than programming. You have a lot of theory, and you have a lot of math, right? And so if you check the curriculum, you have operating systems, which has programming, but it's a lot of theory. And then there is data structures, which is again some applications, but most of it is theory. And you have, I guess, discrete structures is also in the minor curriculum for CS. It's pure math, right? It's totally math. And yeah, so CS is very different from what you think of what programming is, right? So, and if you're more interested in the application side of CS, and you are very interested in ML and AI and what's relevant and what's state of the art going on in today's world, then this minor is definitely for you. And even if you take these courses and then later on decide that, okay, I'm not interested in this anymore, you can just take them as electives, right? So there's a lot of flexibility because you can always keep them tagged as an elective or as an ANC, or you can tag them as institute elective or department elective if your department allows, right? For CS people, doing this minor is especially very easy because the 4th year has virtually no core courses, so you can definitely cover this in 2 semesters if you wish to. In 1 semester as well, if you're if you've done most of the other requirements, right? And you can do this with honors with another minor if you want, right? So this is a very flexible minor. Okay, so I guess I've covered most of the stuff in here. Next slide, which is basically my contact number. So if you have any other questions after the session, then you can reach me at this number. You can contact me on Messenger, but I'll mostly reply on WhatsApp. And you can also call me if I'm free. But yeah. So any questions in the chat relevant to this?
I'm sure you can go and have a look, Rwitaban. I think Kunind was also answering some questions in the chat. So thanks for that, Kunind. Yes, and thank you, Rwitaban. Your opinions are always valuable to us in any possible case. Thank you for reviewing this, both for the booklet and over here with us in the course info session.
Yeah, so hi guys, I'm Siddhant. I'll be discussing the KCDH minor for you. If you're confused on what this stands for, it's Koita Center for Digital Health, and the minor is mainly on healthcare informatics. So KCDH is primarily the department in which you're going to do the minor, and health informatics is the minor program, what it's called. So yeah, my journey so far. So yeah, just like the rest of you, I mean, if sports, clubs, PURs, all of this wasn't overwhelming enough, Insti also gives you immense flexibility in the terms of what courses you can do in your semesters. And much like you all, even I was confused. And sometimes I'd say try to know yourself, but that's like a difficult question to answer right off the bat, since I guess you guys are to be Sophies, just finished your first year. So focus on, I guess, start out with something which you don't like. So for me, I knew that repetition gets boring for me. I mean, doing the same thing every so often was something that really, bugged me down. And slowly, I was able to find things which really interested me as I took more courses. So interdisciplinarity was something that I found relevant and interesting. Complexity fascinated me in any field. And slowly I found like a goal to pursue, which was to do something in personalized medicine. So yeah, knowing all of this, as I went into my second year, I was really like intrigued by BB 101, where all the molecular machinery of how DNA replication came to be. It motivated me to take this molecular biology course. And obviously, I also took a bioinformatics course, which is now informatics getting mixed with biology and how we can apply computation and informatics to biological problems. And slowly, after I was through with that, I switched to the C minor, where the very versatile nature of AI, it's all around us, right? So that really interested me towards that aspect. And I also completed DS 303. So having done both biology courses and doing machine learning courses, I wanted a flavor of both of them. And uh, very conveniently came the health informatics minor, which kind of is like a medley between the two. I'll explain what KCDH is. So it was established out of the Koita Foundation by Rekha and Rizwan Koita in IIT Bombay in 2021. Both of whom who are very distinguished alumni of IIT Bombay, by the way. And after the wake of the pandemic, which I guess is very fresh in all of your minds, this glaringly exposed several relevant healthcare challenges in the industry. And what KCDH aims at is that tackling these problems, which are with data-driven, equitable health solutions. What this really does is facilitate interdisciplinary research, where you'd see people from all walks of life come together and solve these problems, which are cross fields. They are you'll have engineers, you'll have doctors, you'll have scientists, you'll have economists, you'll have all of these. You'll have statisticians trying to collaborate and improve health outcomes in people. So then there are a lot of distinguished faculty which are involved with the department, and they offer a lot of courses that you can do to complete your minor. As is with every minor, you got to do 30 credits. And especially with KCDH, what is really unique about it, as well as I guess C-Minds, you could say the same, is that there's a diverse blend of courses. You could do it across departments, and there isn't a lot of strict and restricted nature, which you could see in the other minors. So, and especially with KCDH, there's a nice blend of courses. You could do technical courses, there are computational courses, there's some courses which are related to the pure science of the matter. You could even go even more macro towards policy making and towards the economic side of it. So I think every little aspect of what goes on in the healthcare industry is kind of covered. And most of these courses have like little to no prerequisites. As you can see, like I picked this up from the website. You can easily Google KCDH and you'll find the minor website. I can also link it if you want. Uh, optimizing machine learning. You have medical image computing. So it goes right from the basics of ML towards more advanced techniques such as optimization and applications like image processing. These are all CS department courses. You can also take the DS course, which is Intro to ML, a bit easier course. The scientific courses such as BB, you can take those as well.
ME and electrical courses are always scattered in there too. So and you have your own the TH courses themselves, which out of which only one of them is compulsory, which I'll get to when I discuss the courses. That is DH 302. So yeah, as is with C Minds, even this has 3 brackets of courses to choose from, and you gotta take courses from at least 2 of them to complete the minor. So yeah, coming to the courses, for the one I did first was BB626, Modeling Biological Systems and Processes. It's a very technically compact course, I'd say a very good introduction to systems biology, which is kind of approaching biology in a system sense. Not really going too reductive into it, not really going into the very molecular, the biology of it, but applying mathematic models to how you can simulate certain biological patterns that you see which emerge in that field. So some of the examples of what I'm talking about are pandemic simulations, how epidemiology can predict patterns, and how you can see how a spread of a virus takes over a population, the dynamics of the same. As well as you can go to the micro world where molecules are going to be moving, and how you can see their dynamics, molecular dynamics. This is one field where the same algorithm is applied. Let me repeat. So what we did were Monte Carlo algorithms, and a specific case of it, which is the Metropolis algorithm, was used for discussing molecular dynamics. We also did predator-prey models, which are, take predators, take prey, and see who dies out first. So there were like a very diverse amount of applications that 1 or 2 algorithms were used for, and it was a pretty good course, I'd say. There were it was mostly application focused. There were about few concepts that you had to do. I wouldn't say there were any prerequisites. Some StatMech videos he did share with us before the course, which were pretty easy. You could like go through them and figure out what to do with the rest of the course. It was mainly the assignments were programming based, and the grading is very chill, and the prof is pretty kind. So you guys can be engaging, and you can take a lot away from this course. Going towards the S303, I'm sure the C Minds people have covered this, but it's one of the easier machine learning courses if you're a beginner compared to the CS and EE ones. There's a lot of techniques and algorithms covered, but I feel like they don't go too much into the depth. I mean, you will know some of the math background behind it as opposed to an online course, but yeah, it's not too much in depth. But you're getting a flavor of all of them, so you'll know what to hone in on for the future. The project, it was project assignment oriented. We used to have, I think we had 2 assignments. I took this in the COVID semester, I think the first time it was introduced. So we also, and the professor is really accommodating to, I think Biplab sir had taken the course. We would request him to, I think we had requested him to take a project for this so that we have something that we can retain from the course, and he did agree, and everybody had a project in the end which they could tie on to their course, write them in their resume as such. So yeah, and there was no midsem or endsem for this course. We just had quizzes. I don't know how it is right now, but yeah, that was the case. It was a pretty chill course, I'd say, as far as machine learning or CS courses or something of that sort go. So yeah, then I took Introduction to Public Health Informatics. So this was one of the, let's say, flagship courses of DH, of the KCDH minor, Health Informatics. It really encapsulates health informatics into a single course, primarily the public health informatics side. So we were exposed to not only the computational aspect, the challenges that people face in natural language processing, in medical imaging, but also to the macro scale management side of things. How are hospitals structured in India? How are the different problems in communication and structuring in how these different things manifest on a more national scale is what we studied. So this was actually taken by a doctor from AIMS, one of the second or third modules in that course. We also had the ethics of healthcare. Now you have all this data, and naturally concerns come about the privacy of data. And all these problems are very relevant today, where we have so much data, but not a lot of it is private. A lot of it is just available on the net. How do you protect these things? So, and what are the ethics of it, right? How do we ensure that we can handle that data in an ethical manner? So we also had a professor from the HS department talking about this, and a lot of relevant problems. You're going to face this whether you're a I mean, if you're working in this industry, you got to take in all these factors into account. So, and naturally, Ganesh sir, who is actually, I think, heading the, uh, who's a DOGC convener of KCDH. He takes this course. He's also a very good prof in terms of if you want to contact him for a project or some sort. He's really good for that. And there was naturally also a project in the course, so where we had to apply all of these things that we had learned and provide an end-to-end solution. Even though you did not come up with the solution, we did come. If you did enough research in the background, that was enough. And it was a pretty good course, I'd say. Yeah. DS 304 came next, which is economics of healthcare. This was again a totally different course. So you could see like how the first course that I discussed was more scientific, and it delved into a bit of the informatics side, ML side, and now we come to economics. So yeah, this was, if you liked HS 101, you're gonna like this course. The lectures were really nice. They were engaging and pretty, different from the kind of more scientific, not directly applicable to real life courses you see in IIT Bombay. So this was one where we had discussions about things which affect us in the daily life, what makes us value health or healthcare, and how this relates to the monetary aspect. It has an HS 101 vibe to it. It is logical, and in the end, math also comes into play, where we use regression models to find correlations. Several techniques were used to see how we could relate to things within the healthcare space, how, let's say, a socioeconomic factor might affect how the rate of cancer goes up, or how the number of accidents rise with with the minimum drinking age in a country, let's say. So it has that policy making aspect to it as well, and we were also compensated by a pizza in one of the classes. So yeah, this has, I guess, a moderate grading, I'd say, not as easy as DS 303, but if you pay attention in class and you do well in it, you're gonna enjoy. So yeah, this was primarily the courses that I've done in the minor. Apart from this, you could also, complete a project in the KCDH department. They have a diverse range of faculty. You'll find them in CS, you'll find them in IEO, you'll find them in BSB as well as HS. Provided you get the consent of the faculty member, that can compensate a course, and you have 5 courses done, you get the minor basically. So yeah, I'd say KCDH being I guess, the newest minor on the block, they have a lot of flexibility as to how not only the course selection, but also the fact that you can reach out to the staff in charge and ask them for, whether these courses can be included in the minor, because it is very new, and if relevant, they do take up your requests if they are genuine. And it's pretty relevant, I'd say, in this space. After we exit the pandemic, the world has become more aware of these problems, and in this space where healthcare meets ML meets economics, and if you're interested by any of these things, you can give KCDH a try. And yeah, I'll take questions if there are any. If not, yeah, I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you, Siddhant, for that review. Very elaborate, and I'm sure provided all of us a lot of clarity about this new minor as well. Right then, I invite Unnati back to give the IDC minor review.
So, hi everyone, this is Unnati. I'm to be fourth in the chemical department, and I'm currently pursuing the design minor, which is offered by IDC IIT Bombay. Here is my contact number, my WhatsApp number, if you want to contact with me in person. Yeah. So giving just an overview. So basically, the design minor is supposed to like interact and give an exposure to the students who are in who are in engineering or a technical background. So design perspective is required in a sense that you also can have a hobby or maybe design view while just doing engineering. So for example, being an engineer, if you want to design a product, of course there is a lot of technical aspects involved in that, and there are a lot of technicalities, but along with that you have to also look at the design of a product. So you can't just like create an object and just put it in front of a person and ask him to use it. There is a very crucial part of design involved in it. So because of this only, the design minor has been offered for the students who have technical background. And I I pursued the design minor in my fourth semester. So I will just go about the offerings that the minor gives. So the courses that are there in the minor, they offer a general awareness about design. So what are the basic principles of design? How is design applicable in the real world problems? And how can you incorporate design while performing any engineering task? So these are sort of the things that are involved in the minor and the learning outcomes of the minor. And of course, there is a long way through this, of course, which is career perspective. So if you want to pursue design as a career in your long term, then also this minor gives you a sort of exposure to as what is there in design exactly, and what you can expect in the design future, right? So that is there. And apart from that, yeah, just a heads up that the courses that are offered by IDC involve minor courses, institute electives, and ALCs. Okay, and you can take up a course with any of the tags as provided by the IDC team. Apart from that, one most important thing is that there is no CPI cutoff for this minor, and this is the general trend. And all of the courses that are available for the minor in the coming semester, all of them are free of the CPI constraint, and you can just apply for the course with like however CPI you might have. So moving on to the next part, which is my motivation to pursue the design minor. So there was a very long vacation after my first year. So like during the COVID lockdown, so it was around 4 months vacation. And in that phase, I started exploring design as just a hobby, like through my YouTube videos or anything. I just started making graphics and all, like with YouTube videos and all. I just started following all the videos and just started knowing more about the softwares that are used in designing. So my initial knowledge about designing was just limited to the softwares, which were like Photoshop and Illustrator. So I just started off with that, and further I got interested in design, that I applied for design convener position. So I was a design convener at ICC during my second year, and this helped me just motivate to see design in a more broader perspective, and it also encouraged me to take up some of the design courses as the part of my curriculum. So I did not actually start my design minor courses from my third semester onwards. Actually, I took one ALC course in my third semester, which was Innovation by Design. And the work that I had to do in that minor, the learnings that I got from the from that course were were so helpful in my with my learnings and my curriculum, that I decided to take a minor in design in my fourth semester. So I started my minor from the fourth semester. The next thing would be yeah, of course, PORs helped me to understand design in a different perspective. So that was one thing. Apart from that, the minor was something that offers a wide perspective about design. So when I went through the courses that are offered by IDC, there is a huge spectrum of courses that are offered. So they all start from the fundamentals of design, and they go towards the very broad and wide famous topics of the design. So there is a lot of scope for learning different types of design and different types of design aspects, which is why I decided to take up a minor in design. Next thing was design as a hobby. So at the end of my third semester, I really got very interested in design, because it was kind of my relieving or sort of a relaxing time for me to design. So, and I really wanted to keep it that way and enhance my knowledge about the same, and which was also another motivation for taking design as my minor. And of course, skill enhancement is there. So it is basically a self motivation is required for this minor. Like जितना effort तुम put करोगे अपने आप से तो उतना gains तुम्हें मिलते जाएंगे. So it works that way. And of course, from the courses, I got to know a lot of concepts of design thinking and creative thinking. I'll cover these topics in the next slides. So yeah, moving on to the structure of the minor. So all of the courses that are available for minor on the website as suggested by the IDC portal are 12 courses, and 12 courses for minor, basically to complete the minor, and a particular set of courses are available for tagging as minor in the particular semester. So you have to constantly keep checking on which all courses are available on the portal, whenever we are choosing the courses. So that is there. And for this minor, you have to complete a total of 30 credits, and all of the courses that are available in the IDC minor that are of 6 credits each. So you have to complete 5 courses for completing the minor. Now, moving on to the next part, which I already actually mentioned, that there are all levels of the courses available, right from starting what is design, the fundamentals of design, to very wide topics like visual communication, animation, ergonomics, and cinematography, etc. So all the courses are basically a brief introduction to every field in design, so which is the most interesting part. And apart from this, there are a particular set of courses called as studio projects. So these are some of the hands-on projects that the professors are currently working on, and you are supposed to help in those projects along with the professors. And these are some of the specialized learning projects that the professors are offering to get help with. And you have to earn these courses. I would say earn, because you have to constantly mail professors for earning those courses and for gaining those projects. So once the professor approves your request, and of course the process is a little difficult as compared to other courses which are not studio projects. So the prof really sees your background in design, or your interest, your motivation to pursue the course, and then offers you the course. So which is why studio projects are different from other courses. And of course, there is one more thing, that there are no lectures for the studio projects. So the minor slot that you have for studio projects are completely empty. You just have to figure out a frequency in which you will meet with the professor and give your updates on the project. So there are no as such lectures for it. The next thing would be experimental learning and experiential approach. As this is a hands-on and a live project, which is the best opportunity you could get about any project, that it being a live project. So the thing is, you can immediately see the impact of the work that you're doing. So which is why live projects are important. And of course, you get to learn a lot of things, because there is a lot of responsibility involved while dealing with live projects. So yeah, and this is the thing. And I have listed all the courses and their information here in the eye icon, so you can just click on it and get to the portal and just look it up for the detailed information. So moving on to the next part, which is courses that I completed. So these are actually 4 courses that I've completed. D414 in my 3rd semester, D403, which is Studio Project 1 in my 4th semester. Sorry, this was in 3rd semester. This is in 4th semester. Studio Project 2nd in my 5th semester, and Elements of Design D408 in my current semester. So, firstly, D414. This was not a minor course. This is the course from which I started exploring the courses that are offered by IDC. So, D414 was my ALC. And let me tell you, this was the best course that I have chosen until now, of course, apart from core courses. The reason being, the learnings that I had from this course were amazing, and I really got to learn the entire process of product development right from scratch. So we also decided a problem statement that we want to work upon. We started about what is the context, what are the requirements. So basically it's a systematic process of product development right from scratch, right from the problem statement. And there was a group project for the same, and the team was of 3 people, and I really got to learn a lot of things in terms of design thinking, creative thinking, like how can I create the solution for the problem. Then entire product development process is an iterative process. So whenever you come up to a solution, you have to again cross check with your users, the end users that you are going to supply this product to. You have to get it verified from them. If they find any problem, then you have to repeat the entire process of product development, right from problem identification and then solution. So it was a very interesting process, and I would say you really get a feel while creating that product. So I created an automated wheelchair for people having dementia disease, and that worked out well. We created a mock model, a 3D model for our end result. So, and one just last thing about this course would be that this course was so important and so very a healthy addition to my resume, that I got my third year internship on the basis of like 50% of the discussion in my interview was on this course and the project itself. So yeah, it was that important for me. And in my fourth semester, I started with the minor. So this was Studio Project 1. So I would just mention about how the process is, because the projects always vary according to the professor. So there are sem-long projects, and I got to learn a lot about ergonomics, what is human interaction. So it was actually my project. Yours might be different. It totally depends on the professor. But of course, the studio projects involve a lot of research, a lot of reading, and I would say that is something different from your engineering background, and that increases and adds on another dimension to your knowledge. So which is why I like the courses a lot, the studio projects. And the next course that I just completed was D408, Elements of Design. I got to know about the fundamentals and principles of design, and there were a lot of concepts involved in the design. So basically it was a core design course in the sense. So I really got to learn fundamentals and principles and applications of design in this course. And of course, this course involved a continuous evaluation with per week assignments, mid sem, end sem, everything. But of course, I got to learn a lot of things at the end of the course. And yeah, just the last part of it would be the takeaways from the design minor that you could expect from this minor. So of course, design skills, the software skills. So basically, just having a software skill and having a design vision are both different things. And when you complete this complete spectrum of courses that are offered by IDC, you really get to learn a lot about the design view, how you're supposed to look at things, what is design, and what is the practical application of design. So it is design is not just applicable or confined in the four walls of softwares that you have to design a poster or maybe a file or something. It is more to that. It is really about the practical application, how you're supposed to create a pump or how you're supposed to create the design of a chair. So these all are design, and it is not just limited to a software version of it. The next thing would be creative thinking, of course, and hands-on experience in the projects through the studio projects. Then practical applications, as I already mentioned, and design as a career opportunity. And of course, this would be if you really enjoyed the minor and you really want to continue with it forever. So it is for that. And some of the gyan ki batein that I would like to share is, if you have a really deep interest in the minor and design, and you really want to pursue it further, not really pursue it further, or really learn more about the minor, then you should go for it, I would suggest. And I really have had an amazing experience with all of the courses, and of course design is my favorite now, and a go-to thing whenever I'm um, whenever required. So yeah, I'm done over here. So if you have any doubts or anything, you can share.
Thank you very much, Unnati. That cleared a lot of our doubts about the ITC minor.
Yeah.
If there are any questions, all the participants will be putting it in the chat. So if you can have a look at the chat and see if there are any questions that need to be answered.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's move on. And now the next minor we're covering is the energy minor. And for that, we have invited Pooja Maitra, who will be speaking.
So I'm Pooja Maitra. I'm in chemical engineering, and I'll soon be going to my third year. So I have done 2 courses of energy so far. In total, you will have to do 5 courses for completing the minor, out of which I've so far done EN 301 and 302. EN 301 is a very basic introduction to various types of renewable energies. So they covered solar, hydro, and wind energies in this course. And exams were all open book, and the course itself is actually pretty chill. So, like, you're not going to have any problems like it's clashing with your main subjects. EN 302 was about system plannings, as it says, and it had a bit of everything, I'd say. We had a bit of thermodynamics, and towards the end, we moved on to forecasting, and we also had a bit of economics in it. So, it was a very pleasant like course because it had a lot of things in it. As for the 402 and 403, I have not yet done them. And for the 5th course, you will have to choose any elective offered by the department, which you can find the entire list of on the department website. And it really has a lot of variety here. So, like, you can actually choose whatever you want to, whatever interests you, like that. And that's about it, I think. Yeah, that's about it.
Great, then thank you, Pooja. Sorry, you want to say something?
Yeah, that the courses in general are actually very chill. Like, both of the courses I've done so far had entirely open book exams. So that's something I think was a very good point for me.
Yes, that is good to mention. Yes, Pooja, thank you very much for sharing this review. I'm sure now that you've provided it, a lot of us will consider taking the energy minor as well. So thank you for
Yeah,
that.
and as for CPI cutoffs, there aren't really, it's not very tough. It's very easy to get into as well. Yeah, like that's about it.
Yes, thank you for pointing that out as well. Okay, let's move on. And now we are going to review the CSE minor. And for that, we have Audit Akarsh with us.
So the motivation behind the CS minor would be if you would like to gain knowledge about computer science as well as for jobs in software engineering. And about me, I am pursuing double minors in CS as well as data science. And I've done 3 M courses under CS, which are slot 5 courses, and some other non-slot 5 courses in CS as well. So the structure for completing the CS minor is 4 M courses, which are again slot 5 courses, and they have to be gotten through the pre-registration, and they have CPI cutoffs. And the 5th one can be any CS elective, including an R&D project. You can look at the list of courses later. And previously the cutoffs used to be quite high, but since last year the seats have been increased to 150, so the cutoffs have fallen a bit. So the M courses in this semester, the upcoming one, are 3, out of which you will be able to take 2, the first 2, and you can read about them on their course websites or just the basic details here. They are computer networks and logic for CS, which have no prerequisites, and one of them requires some programming while the other is purely theory. And you can look at the cutoffs as well, which is quite low compared to previous years where it used to be 8.5 plus. And for spring, it's CS 207 and 2 quite important courses of CS minor, CS 213 and CS 419. So data structures and algorithms is the course for programming, where you are taught all the basics about the data structures used in programming as well as different algorithms. But the reviews for the current instructor are not that good. So you'll have to. Yeah, I think screen is visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, so you'll have to do quite a lot of self-study if you are serious about learning DSA for internships or jobs. And the CS 419, again, people will talk about it in the DS minor as well. So it covers machine learning details covered in online courses, but it also goes into the mathematical part. So you need knowledge of probability and linear algebra to understand the course well. And CS 347 will have a prerequisite, so I'm going to skip that. There are 3 more courses which are not running this year. You can look at them next year if you want. CS 213 is a spring semester course. And note that the final authority on prerequisites will be the pre-registration portal. It will not allow you to register if you do not satisfy the prerequisite. And the 5th course can be taken through registration, and it can be any CS course with code 4XS and above. Yes, Vamshika, it's offered in the 4th semester. And the 5th course can also be an R&D project where if you find a willing professor, you can work on a research problem for a whole semester and get a grade for it and get it counted in the minor. So opinions about the CS minor. All of the courses are moderately difficult and require regular effort since they have multiple assignments and quizzes, which usually involve coding in the assignments and questions which require thinking a lot in the quizzes. And the grading is also harsh, so you would not be looking for institute electives in CS minor. And just completing the minor and getting the tag of the minor degree may not be as useful as actually learning the concepts and using those to excel in tests and interviews for internships and placements. So you'll have to put in effort if you are serious about CS. And the last point is specific to the course CS 213, since a lot of students just took the course for coding tests in internships and placements, but it's not enough. Yeah, thank you. I'll answer the question in the chat.
Thank you, Adit, for that review. I'm sure it was very, very helpful because this is a very sought after minor as well. So thank you for providing more clarity on it. Now, finally, we come to the last minor review, which is the mathematics minor review. And for that, we have Advay Girish with us.
Thank you, SSS. Hello, everyone. I'm Advay. I finished a minor in math last year, technically, but yeah, I'm graduating this year. So let's start with what courses you will be doing. The first is real analysis, which is basically your first year calculus course, but this is a good bridge between your first year courses and what a math minor actually is, because I don't know, the math that we know and we have been exposed to as JE students is considerably different from what real world math is. Then there's complex analysis. You might think that complex analysis is just real analysis in 2 directions, but it's not. It's so much more interesting, and there's a lot of fancy stuff that happens when you take the square root of -1. So let that be there. Then there's basic algebra. Algebra is not solving an equation with a variable. This is abstract algebra, which is a generalization of elementary algebra. So you write simple equations in very bare bones forms that can describe a whole lot of stuff. So this is another very fancy course. I did not understand this course at all. I had to put in a lot of effort to make any progress in this. So yeah, there's more information about all of these courses in my reviews on the course info booklet of last year and on the DAMP website, which I have linked in these slides on a later slide. Yeah, then a 4th course is general topology, which is another very abstract course. And there's Fourier analysis, which is one of my favorite courses. Probably the most favorite course of my whole institute life. Yeah, so the thing about math minor is all of these courses are 8 credits except the Fourier analysis course, which is 6 credits. But that's okay. You still need only 4 courses to complete your minor. And I say any, but this comes with a big caveat. Real analysis and basic algebra only run in odd semesters, and complex analysis and general topology and Fourier analysis only run in even years, in even sems. So yeah, during the course of your institute life, you'll see it run once or twice only. So don't miss it if you do want to finish the minor. So for more on why you might or might not want to do the minor, first thing, of course, you only need 4 courses. This means that especially if you're in BTech, your 7th sem will be chiller, and 7th sem is important if you want to do placements or applications or anything. But more importantly, and this is the point of this whole minor, is that you learn to write rigorous proofs and think in a very nice structured way. That is important. And thirdly, maths is a very, very, very diverse branch. So the selection of the courses that they have is pretty good. It exposes you to different areas that are pretty distinct and give you a good flavor overall of what math actually does. And this is a very personal opinion, but these courses kept my brain alive when I was sitting at home doing nothing all day. So yeah, that's very personal opinion. This is something that I think, especially if this is something that you enjoy doing math stuff, I think you will find the minor to be very fun. So these were the good. And now there's a neutral opinion. Class strength is, I mean, the number of seats are 20, and in most cases, the class strength is rarely in the double digits. So, I mean, okay, I found this as an absolute win. Some of you might not like this, but I had all of my other courses with 150 other people sitting in LA. So this was a nice escape into a nice secluded place where there were only a few of us. Now the bads, the evils. This is a very high effort minor. You cannot expect to breeze through a math course. You have to practice regularly. Simply reading theorems and proofs will not get you anywhere. You have to write them down, physically write things down on paper or whatever, tab or anything. That is a bad. And there is limited freedom. You only have 5 courses, of which you have to do 4. And even that is, I mean, not like you have a choice. You take what you get. But again, I don't really see this as a problem because the courses are from a very wide range of topics. So it's okay. Why would you now who should consider this? This is the obvious point here. If you did not enjoy your first year math courses, you should definitely not even be thinking about this minor. And by enjoy, I don't mean you got a very good grade or anything. I just mean that you were able to appreciate what rigorous math is trying to do, why it's important to have logical, organized proofs and things. Yeah, this is just what I said. Now, theoretical research is in quotes because most all of you have just finished your first year, and it's unlikely that you know what research is. But a few years later, if you do take the math minor, looking back, this will be your selling point. Theoretical research. If you do want to go into theoretical research, you do have to take a math minor. So what is theoretical research? I don't know, if you like writing proofs and actually proving some things in engineering. So broadly, engineering research is of systems and theory. Systems is when you actually build stuff that works, and theory is when you show that it will actually work and not fail, things like that. Just in general, if you like anything or this idea of the math minor seems interesting, you should explore. And how do you explore? You should know what you're getting into. The point is that there is no real wrong answer. No, sorry, there is no right answer, but there are wrong answers. So for a person like me, entrepreneurship and management would be absolute wrong answers, but physics or even HS or CS would probably not have been terrible choices. So at your stage at the end of first year, it doesn't really matter all that much. Just make sure that you don't go into something that is definitely wrong for you. And how do you do that? You read, firstly, my own math minor review on the EE DAMP website. And secondly, a review by Jay, who is an EE senior. He finished his BTech here in 2017 and is now doing his PhD at Stanford. This is the review that I read at the end of my first year before I took the math minor. And I found it very helpful. So these 2 things you should definitely read if you are still thinking about the math minor. And I'm going to shamelessly lift a sentence from my own review. That is this. I mean, I found it very impressive. That's why I put it here. As the language is science, pure and applied, so being familiar. Yeah, so I've seen a lot of you asking in the chat, what kind of math is in game theory? What kind of math is in AI/ML? And it seems like you're all afraid of math. And the only reason you're afraid is because the way our whole math education has been is very different from the math that we're seeing now. So the point is, don't be afraid of the math. You just have to learn it. So if you are open to spending a few years actually learning math, and then you can still do whatever you want. Your whole career is ahead of you. So yes, you should consider math then. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. All the best. I'll answer questions in the chat.
Thank you very much, Advay, and thank you for keeping up the trend with the math emojis. I really like that. And yes, it was a very fitting conclusion to our long list of reviews. So especially to all the attendees who stayed till now, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much. We hope you have benefited from this session in some way or the other. And we have released the course info booklet. We have released all the links to Resobin are all available. The reviews are up. So please do visit Resobin and read all the reviews. They're very elaborate and they should answer at least 90% of all your concerns and queries. And if you have any other specific queries which are not resolved, as all the speakers have said, you can reach out to them. You can reach out to us also. Our contact details are available in the course info booklet and on our social media as well.
Yeah, guys, so thanks a lot for staying through, and I hope that whatever we did was helpful for you. And we tried to cover as many minors as we could and provide a detailed review from very experienced seniors for you. And right, so I understand. So it's an information overload, and it's quite a lot to digest and take it through. And you guys also have little time remaining, as 15th the pre-registration starts, and we'll be having the semester starting by the end of this month. But I hope that whatever we did, whatever little we did, was a little helpful in getting you there. And always remember that student support services is always there for you. And I Prapti, the ISS square, and my four coordinators, Akshat, Ashwin, Ravya, and Tushar. We all five of us are just a call or a message away. And then you can contact us with any queries you have regarding what was covered in the session, or any academic related doubts that you might have regarding the academic procedure here at IIT. You can also, we have a lot of, we release the course info booklet right now. You might have got a message from your CRs, or you could have seen that on our Instagram handle. If you are not in touch with us on Insta, I would suggest you to do so, because we have a lot more initiatives coming for you also. The course info booklet in very detailed manner covers all about courses and all about the nitties and gritties here, about courses here at IIT Bombay. And we also have uploaded a plethora of reviews on Resubin about various minors and honors, especially for you guys, to make sure that everything is available for you at one place. Now, we have some hints about the upcoming initiatives. So, branch change is something that we'll be targeting next, and we'll try to make sure that your branch change procedure is as smooth as possible, and you have all the information required to handle the branch change in the right way. We also have something called the sophomore 101. So, as it suggests, it's an introductory session to your sophomore year, which we'll be conducting it on a very department specific level to help you gain insights into your department as well. And so just stay tuned on student support services page, and I hope you will be very well prepared into your third semester, and all of you will do very well. So thanks a lot for all your time, and I really appreciate for all of you who have done this, who have stayed over till the end. And thank you to those also who will be later watching me in the recording saying this. So thanks a lot, guys. I hope whatever little we did was helpful, and I hope that we are able to serve you well in the future as well. Thanks a lot.